Okay, friends. I hope that the connection is good enough. I've been troubleshooting all night the audio problems because some of you know I only have a really bad old business laptop from which to try to do the stream. I apologize that the audio is probably low. It's cranked up to the max. So I had a good robust laptop ready to go before I went to California on my trip, and it died the night before the trip. So I mom to the rescue. She gave me her old laptop, but it's quite old. So here we are. We're doing our best. Now let me see. Check on a couple of settings here. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. And let's see. Go live. Let's see. Did I actually do this correctly? Uh, okay. We're looking at the back end of YouTube off screen. So bear with me. I'm trying something new. The other night it sort of worked, but drove me insane. The StreamYard, which I'm trying to use to, you can hear me, guys? Okay, great. Oh, hey, Shaz, how are you guys? Christopher, hi. Robert Ferrari, hi, guys. So, so it's good? The audio is, can you hear me at least a little bit? I hope so, guys. um, thank you all for coming. I want to start off by saying this might be short today. I'm supposed to do some filming. Jane Blackbird, welcome, welcome. Do hit the like button if you can to help make this trending. I am so frustrated. At 9:30 last night, I woke up, got to bed about noon after doing the all-nighter stream, and coming in 5 by 5. Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Shaz, for turning me on to StreamYard. It's the only thing that can work on a low-end laptop. I tried all the fancy stuff last night to get audio working better, and I just have to face it. Streamlabs is not going to work on this laptop. The minimum system requirements just aren't there. Santa, hello too. So I wanted to at least do what people are requesting, which is summarize what happened. So I'll rewinding. I could hear my own echo the last time I used StreamYards, and the entire time I was speaking for like almost 4 hours, I was like la la la, then heard myself talking over myself with a delay, and it just wasn't going to work. Hey, Alan, thanks for being here. Now, quickly, an aside, does anybody know if we can watch the early morning meetings that they have at 7 o'clock every morning at the fairgrounds? I don't know if that's just for CAL FIRE and the firefighters or if they're publishing them. I don't know if journalists are going to film it and upload it later, but I already ran through all of the CAL FIRE incident management team channels that I know of, 1 through 5, or 1 through 6. I don't see anything on the McKinney. Now, the audio problem that I still have is I fixed, my echo. You guys can't hear what I'm hearing, which is the audio broadcastify. One moment. Okay, they're saying that the morning crews are just starting to leave Wairika. I can't make that out. It's like some of the crews are headed to some of the smaller spot fires. So another problem is I can only show you Edge browser, and I cannot actually show you what I just put in the thumbnail, which is the My Radar app, and there's no way to view that online. So I'll just speak, the things that I can't show you. So if I stop talking, that's because I'm listening to this, and I'll switch to this page so you guys see that I'm listening to something, even though you can't hear it. There's no way to make that happen. I woke up a friend at 2 in the morning and said, hey, can you help me troubleshoot audio? And he came up with a brilliant solution. So if you hear your own echo in StreamYard, you right click the tab for StreamYard and you mute the tab. It was picking up all my desktop audio. Can't believe that it took me more than 24 hours of Googling to find that solution. I never found it, but then my friend was like, oh yeah. So I'm going to owe him a steak dinner, that's for sure. So what I want to start off with is a recap of what I heard last night, and I did tweet like word for word, the morning update that happened just before 6 a.m. So if I go back to my Twitter on my phone, you guys can um, know what I tweeted. So I don't know if we're going to be able to watch the update that they just had at 7 o'clock. It may just be for the crews themselves. I don't know if journalists are invited at the fairground. However, I was fortunate enough to be listening all night to scanner radio and heard the morning update that they were telling the dispatch. So let me go back somewhere. I don't know how I go back to my own page on Twitter on the phone. Bear with me here. Profile my own tweets. Okay. Set up my profile. No, I don't want to. I just want to look at my own tweets. Okay. So since Twitter gives us not that much space, I made a series of messages. So throughout the night, the fire laid down. That's one of the first things they said in the middle of the night. So that's excellent. They had some respite, and they were doing great with their dozer lines. They just talked mostly throughout the night. We began listening about 10:30 or so, and they were saying, dozer crew X, Y, and Z, can you meet the other dozer line? And oftentimes the answer was yes. Sometimes they got rocked out, which means that they hit rocks and they can't, doze through rocks, but then they found alternatives. So that was a good ray of hope. Not much was visible on the cams at night. The cams just sort of zoomed in and onto a bright spot. And right now, there's nothing to show you on the cams. Like there's smoke. That's it. Like, let's go to the last 3-hour time-lapse here. This is Antelope Mountain, Wairika. Can you guys see this okay? It's extra hard for me to monitor chat because I have to switch windows back and forth. But if you're seeing this, the camera occasionally pivots around and you see its own tower, but that's how thick the smoke is. It's not like there's something wrong with the camera. It's just all over the place. Now, if you go to the Microsoft Store and get the My Radar app, you can see all kinds of cool layers of like where the smoke's headed. And I was eager to show you guys, but StreamYard is not allowing me to unless there's something I'm missing. It just wants to show browser windows, and I have to choose between them at a time. So let me look back at the chat real quick. GTSY, not sure what that means. Good morning. Hey, Vanessa. Hello, guys. Good morning, David. And RGJ, hello. Yeah, RGJ says, thanks for the coverage. McKinney is blowing up. BHF traffic is sparse. Everything is so spread out. Yeah, I was listening to it the entire night. So here is what the morning update was on the just before 6 a.m. So he says to dispatch, and I'm not sure who this is, just whoever, somebody who sounded like he was in charge. He says, update, West Group, continue structure prep and defense along Walker Road and assess damage through Highway 96. Don't ask me what West Group is. And he says, break. And then dispatch was, writing this down. Crews are scouting off, and then it was kind of crackly off something that sounded like the word Trinity or something, or Infinity. Maybe that's a road? I don't know. Crews are scouting off something indirect hand line plus dozer lines to try to cut the fire off from continuing along Highway 96 to the mouth of the Scott River. So he says break. Dispatch wrote that down. I imagine this is what they're probably reporting for the 7 o'clock update. This is what they just said in front of the other teams. It was like a report on what happened during the night. The next part of the radio update was, the fire that's in the top of Mill Creek continues to back down towards Scott Bar. It's roughly 3 to 4 miles from the bottom of the drainage, just outside of the town of Scott Bar. And I wrote a note here on Twitter, a fire that's backing. What backing means is to move slowly down a hill or, against the wind. It's lazy. Okay, the next part of the radio update was spots ranging from little duffers all the way to quarter-acre spots that were across from the north side of Highway 96. No structures were lost there, but one outbuilding was lost along the river drainage. So that was an update on just how many spot fires they were dealing with. Sela says hello from North Carolina. Hello everybody. Thanks for being here. Next part of the radio update of just before 6 a.m. was the spot fire that's in Beaver Creek. They continue to try to control and construct line around it to bring it back into containment into the Beaver Creek proper. End of report. So I thought that was the end of it, but then dispatch had a question. Dispatch says, any additional info on how close the fire made it towards Wairika? And the answer is no. I tried to make it around there earlier this evening and tried asking the CAL FIRE guys who were up there, and I was unable to get that answer. So throughout the night, they were not sure how close the fire made it towards the town. It's just the thick smoke and all that, and inaccessibility and communication problems all wrapped up into one is what it sounded like to me. So the last thing I just heard on the radio that was pretty good right before I went live, sometime I would say about 40 minutes ago, was they were saying that they were relieved that, the fire laid down much of the night, that it wasn't too bad, that they made good progress tying in with each other. But then there's a news about the post office. I thought the post office was toast. When we heard about it, not last night, night before, or I should say the morning before last. No, yesterday morning. Yeah, that's more accurate. Yesterday morning from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., like when I was broadcasting, we heard alarmingly that the post office had fire creeping towards it, actually roaring towards it, and they got the fire out around the building, but then embers had made its way in the attic, it looked like, and the attic was smoking. So I thought it was a done deal. They either saved it or they didn't. They just said about 40 minutes ago that there's still some sort of a smoldering fire in the attic of the post office. I was pretty astonished. And they said that unless a structure firefighting team goes inside of it, they're going to lose it. I'm wondering just how a building can smolder for that long, but it just may be that new embers keep finding their way inside. Or there's just not enough wind or oxygen inside there, or just not enough fuel inside the attic to get the structure fully involved. Sleeper fires are like that. Sometimes they just smolder and sit there, and they're just waiting for a gust of wind or something to go whoosh. So the fact that the post office is still alive but endangered, well, I hope they do something. They are concerned about it. So yeah, praying for everybody involved. This is horrific. When I woke up at 9:30 p.m., I was really surprised to see that the west side of Wairika was under evacuation. So I tried desperately all night to go live, trying to fix the sound problems, and I wanted the whole shebang. I wanted you guys to hear radio, so I can, take a lunch break and you guys still hear the radio. I wanted to make it so you could see all the screens that I normally show you guys. Plus, sorry, I didn't mean to leave it on. I mean, this is live view of the cam. It's pure smoke. It's going to be like that for a while. Sorry, I should have put it on a more exciting screen for you guys. I was unable to find their 7 a.m. morning briefing at the fairgrounds. Maybe that'll show up on YouTube. If it does, please let me know, guys. I wanted to read the latest statistics and such, and the forecast is dire. I mean, just cutting down to the chase. It's about as worse as you could imagine for a forecast. We got extremely lucky that no storms rolled in last night that drove it with its mega activity at night that we saw the first night. We got extremely lucky, but it doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. It's it's pretty hairy. Now the radio is crackling. If I suddenly stop talking, it's because they're saying something important. So, moment. Is there a time and location for the briefing tonight for these folks? Remember, I have to translate for you guys. You can't hear this. And it seems to be a limitation on StreamYard. If anybody knows this platform better, please let me know. But we looked it up, and StreamYard's own manual said that I would have to install a virtual audio cable and use something like Voice Meter Banana. I don't know if RGJ, I don't know if you know about it, but It's like a virtual audio consult. Okay, that's dispatch. I can barely make it out. Let's see what they're saying real quick, and then I'll get to the weather. But the weather's bad, just really bad. Come on, dispatch, talk to me. Okay, the nighttime briefing will be at 1900 hours at the high school. So, yeah, that's what they just said. Now, if you go to the Fire Mappers map, this is really cool, but sorry if it gets laggy here. I have a potato computer. I put it in the chat so that you guys can see this map. It's very good. Big Dog, hey, how are you, by the way? Thank you for the kind donations. If anybody can spare a dime, please throw it my way. This California trip to film the Caldor aftermath is insanely expensive, and like really, I could use every $5 I can get. I'm supposed to be driving into the heart of the Caldor fire area today. If the weather holds, we might get thunderstorm type stuff over here. The air is unstable and humid over here by Tahoe, and I'm actually worried about Tahoe and the thunderstorms that keep coming by around here. So, if it's a good filming day or not, it remains to be seen, but that's why this will be kind of a short update. During the daytime, regular media covers this pretty well, and if you're not on Twitter, that's where I get half my information from, all the people that watch fires. So, Christopher Luttrell says this is from yesterday's red flag warning. Yeah. So, yes, thank you everybody for being here, and the mods. Now, the cast. Let me go back to NOAA weather on my cell phone. I love the NOAA weather app, and there's a bunch of those with the same name, but this one is by Pandemonium Software. That's the one you want. That's the one that doesn't violate privacy. It's just straight up and reliable. So, did I install it on a second phone here? Hold on, guys. There's NOAA weather. Just a moment. Bear with me. I've been up all night squinting at the computer with tech problems. Okay, so I'm going to choose my location, and I'm just going to choose Yreka, California. It's pronounced Yreka, by the way. There is a Eureka, and that's on the coast. It's different. So I'm going to put a star by it and add an alert. And boy, there are 3 hazard alerts on Yreka right now. And let me try to wrap that up. This is a really nice map here. They've renamed the McKinney to the SKU Late July Lightning Complex because there's not just one fire. There was multiple lightning strikes, and that was as this raging storm moved in. It is typical California weather. I saw a lot of erroneous global warming, this and that kind of posts all over Twitter, and while the drought is sure a climate change thing, the fact that July and August is normal lightning storm season for California, that's normal. That's kind of always been like that. Plus, fire behavior at night that's raging is pretty normal when you have a raging storm all night. And I think some people, especially who are not in California, don't understand that we had raging storms. And that when you have a raging lightning storm at night, yes, the fire activity blows up. But last night was a good example of how there was no storm and the fire kind of laid down like normal. So I'm not arguing that nighttime activity isn't a symptom of global warming. It definitely is. But things like the Dixie Fire and the Caldor raging at night when there were no storms are better examples of the thing. So I just wanted to clarify that. So now the 3 different weather warnings that we have from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, not, some random weather place, but, straight from the horse's mouth, is an excessive heat warning, fire weather watch, a red flag warning. and it's pretty bad. Okay, one moment. We're talking air to ground. Just queued up the mic. Are they going to talk? Because I would like aircraft to hit this ASAP. Usually aircraft could take off. Ow! On my ears. Aircraft can usually take off about 8:30 in the morning. And there's an old saying, we learned in a 1933 Tillamook burn megafire, and that is, if you can stop forward progress by noon the next day of a fire, then you're sitting pretty, and if not, then you've lost control completely and you're in for a big, long slog. So before noon, if aircraft can make a lot of progress, especially rounding up the spot fires that are all over the map here, and if those, whoops, wrong map, that's more accurate here. If these little spot fires caused by the rest of the lightning storm can be taken care of, roped in with retardant, then that will allow them to concentrate on the big behemoth here. Now, I did hear, by the way, I just recalled this, last night the dozer crews were trying to, right in this section, I don't know if you can see my cursor, over by Hawkinsville, there's an old Badger fire from 2020, and they have some nice lines there from that burn scar, and so they were tying those up and hoping to, stop it from getting over towards the Hawkinsville area. And dozers were working all night with good effect to protect Wairika. I just don't have any other details than that, and hopefully they'll make a public statement. So back to the weather. Excessive heat warning remains in effect until 11 p.m. tonight. Dangerously hot daily high temperatures between 100 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit for the valleys. 90 to 100 degrees at mid-elevations, 80 to 90 degrees in the mountains. Overnight lows will be much warmer than normal, mostly in the mid-60s and 70s. This is very similar to what I was reading yesterday. Now, this is something I gotta turn down. That was just a regular lift assist call that seemed to be constantly on the radio. That's when people have fallen and wedged themselves in between the toilet and the wall, and first responders have to go pluck people out. That's generally what I hear about those. Okay, so if anybody doesn't know what 115 degrees is in Celsius, it's like 42. So yeah, it's serious. So where? Most of Josephine and Jackson counties in southern Oregon, and most of Siskiyou County in northern California, which is where this fire is. This is Siskiyou County and Klamath National Forest. So Oregon and most of Siskiyou County in northern California includes the Rogue, Illinois, Applegate, Lower Klamath rivers, Scott, and Shasta valleys, as well as the surrounding areas. And Scott Valley is where the fire is also threatening to rampage, trying to keep it away from the community of Scott Bar. They made good progress on that last night based on how happy they were on the radio. Impacts. Extreme heat will significantly increase the potential for heat-related illness. We know about how it affects people. Not that many people know that the heat of the day increases fire behavior. So the fire triangle, the three things that fire needs, is oxygen and fuel, and the third is heat. And people forget that part. So the hotter the day is, the more intense the fire can be. Think of it like a reptile. Snakes don't move when they're cold, but they get super hot and then whoosh, they move like lightning. So, additional details from NOAA weather. The duration of this heat wave will be particularly long, and it's likely to be a top 5 event in the climate record for duration. Take advantage of the cooler overnight and morning periods if you want to beat the heat. What that means is, open your windows at night. It's about the only way to cool off your house. And you have to cool off your house naturally that way at night, and then button up the windows and stuff in the early morning and turn on the AC if you have it. If you can hear the air conditioning behind me, it's more like a swamp cooler, and I'm sorry if that's bleeding into the microphone. Let me go back to chat, and thank you. Oh my gosh, donations came in. I can't see this. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I am running up the credit cards on this trip, trying to film the aftermath of the Caldor, and it's been sweat-inducing. I'm very, very grateful. Going back up to the chat, are there any questions I missed? Okay, they're talking down the radio. Go back up there. Hi, Harley Ryder, by the way. Thanks for coming in. John Colgrove says I'm in Camptonville, northwest of Tahoe. Oh, Camptonville. That's a cool ghost town. I feel the same way. It feels like thunderstorms today. My female senses are going off, you know. So let me see what they're saying on the radio. I'll go back to chat. This is when the radio gets active because the morning crews are replacing the night shift. I'm really hoping to see some aircraft activity. The only thing I saw last night was the mapping plane, and it took a meandering course, actually, all over places like Hayfork and stuff. Hang on. Okay, it's just about resources moving about. It doesn't sound important. Okay, so back to finish the weather report. The forecast is pretty dire. It's about as bad as anybody could ever have to deal with. So the red flag warning, which means fire danger of the highest kind, remains in effect from 2 p.m. this afternoon to 11 p.m. this evening for abundant lightning on dry fuels. For fire weather zones here, you know, Siskiyou area, and southwest Oregon, really. Fire weather watch remains in effect Monday morning through Monday evening for abundant lightning for other zones. Just in a nutshell, the Shasta area towards Brookings, Oregon, and Cave Junction. Impacts, lightning, and high fire danger will likely result in new fire starts. That's all we need, right? Gusty thunderstorm winds could contribute to fire spread. What do you mean could? Despite rainfall, initial attack resources could be overwhelmed and holdover fires are possible. So, meaning Mother Nature here, if the storm is really bad, we would just be running away from it until it got better. You know, fire crews would go protect themselves, retreat to a safe spot. If it got super bad, they would be forced to wait until things got better. So, thunderstorms today into Monday. An approaching low pressure system will bring a couple rounds of scattered thunderstorms. Great. Rainfall today. Thunderstorms may begin relatively dry. Great. And then transition to a mix of wet and dry. Yay. Monday, thunderstorms are likely to produce wetting rainfall. Yay. Tomorrow. Yay. Fingers crossed for that. Locally significant wetting rainfall will be possible with some of the thunderstorms, especially the slow-moving ones. Locally significant means one hill gets a flash flood and the other hill next to it is dry. That's the kind of the nature of these thunderstorms. They're inconsistent. I'm not going to read the fire weather watch part because that's the same thing as fire weather, you know, as red flag warning. So the official forecast for today for Wairika, excuse me, I just scrolled past it. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 3 p.m. Widespread smoke. You ain't kidding, huh? Look at the smoke. That's the live view of the cams. Yeah. Widespread smoke, mostly sunny and hot, with a high near 101 for Wairika. Light and variable wind becoming northwest, 6 to 11 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, it shows a picture of a lightning bolt. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Sorry, I scrolled through it again. This is a touchy screen. Excuse me. Widespread smoke, mainly before 3 a.m., mostly cloudy, a low of 71. Northwest winds 5 to 9 miles per hour, becoming calm after midnight. The 30% chance of the showers and thunderstorms is mainly after midnight. For Monday, the high is only going to be 95 degrees. Hang on a second, they're talking. Come on. Talk. Tell us things. RGJ, has this radio feed been bothering you too? It's pretty low quality. They have some serious terrain to deal with, of course. But boy, does this highlight the fact that firefighters need... Boy, do our fighters need reliable infrastructure. Now, this person's trying to contact the China fire team, which is to the far west of the McKinney. So that might be part of the crackle problem, but so far they haven't even reached the team. Branch Communications Division Kilo. Ah, I can't really make out. Yeah, Division Kilo copies, but you're pretty muffled. That was what was just said. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't like the general feeling in the air up here in the Sierras. I'm at an elevation of 3,000 feet in El Dorado County. And it's a dead calm, at least. But it smells like lightning. It feels damp in the air, and it's oppressively hot. It's dangerous. No, it's muggy to the max. Okay, apparently they're done talking to each other. Let me go back to the chat. Thank you so much for the donations. And plus, if you just, they're doing an audio check. Okay. Oh, stand by for briefing, communication check, much better. Okay, so guys, if they start talking, maybe we'll get a briefing. This will be cool. Big Dog says the calm before the storm. That's what I sense. I hate these feelings. Okay, fire weather forecast and fire behavior morning briefing is what he just said. 15% minimum humidity. Lightning in the forecast. High of 105. Break. You're basically probably just telling each other what I just told you. Gusty and erratic winds expected. Thunderstorms are in the afternoon today. Break. And gusty outflow winds 30 to 60 miles per hour are possible as the thunder cells collapse. Fire weather watch, blah, 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 is in effect because of abundant lightning in the forecast. Area remains extremely dry. Fuels are extremely receptive. Wow. Oh, wow. So the spotting potential is up to half a mile to a mile. Understory, something crackling there, and they said ignition potential for any, I think what he just said, for embers, hitting dry fuel is 90%. So this is pretty dang severe. By 3 o'clock, all hell might be breaking loose, is my assessment. He just said stand by for briefing. Current situation. Hang on. Last night on the McKinney, dozers went around the Fort Jones area and Wairika, the 96 corridor. They were chasing spots of Beaver Creek and Walker and all that stuff. Then a group worked around the structures break. So this is like everybody's standing at attention and listening. This is crackly and unreadable. No idea what they're saying. Just We're not staffing branch 10 yet. Out there today, for your division assignments, you're going to have somebody's going to go to Division Charlie, Mikey somebody. Chris somebody is going to going to Division Kilo. Other priorities today are fire is progressing to the west. Try to gather more intel about what we got going on out there. Something is expected to happen at noon, but we don't know the transition time. Sorry, this is really crackly. I barely understand this. That's 100% crackle right there. Can you guys hear me all right, though? Wow. If you guys could go to Syad or someplace with cell service and text a picture to me, that would be great. Wow. See what I mean? Like, they have to stop firefighters and they have to jump in their cars and drive for hours just to get cell service to text each other photos. Aircraft today, 3 Type 1s, 1 Type 2, 3 Type 3, and an air attack. Your helicopter needs for dozer operations. Key to pass on, make sure your air-to-ground is air-to-ground tactical radio. Program your radio correct, because they were wrong yesterday. Make sure you're double checking on that, your comms. And basically, the reason he's saying this is that that's critical. They have to tell the ground crews to get out of the way, otherwise they'll get splashed. And that may sound comical, but a splash could actually destroy a car and break necks and crush people, and people die that way. Firefighter safety and public safety is our #1 concern. We are making sure we keep that in place with clear objectives, clear leadership, and clear communication. While you're there, know what you're doing, know who you're working for, know who's working for you. We're expecting dry lightning today, low fuel moisture. Wow. Please have a plan for what you're going to do in case of an emergency. Be aware trees and rocks may fall. Make a plan for egress if stuff hits the fan. With that, have a safe day. Somebody else is talking now. Make sure you identify medical personnel, blah, blah, blah. Know who you're supposed to call in case of an emergency. There's a whole bunch of crackly stuff. Make sure you have multiple plans of exit for fire personnel. Potential is high for personnel to become injured. It'll take almost 2 hours to get back to Wairika in the state of the road conditions, I think is what he's saying. So this sounds like the safety officer that's talking to people. If you guys remember the Dixie Fires and Caldor briefings, like the different head honchos will take the stage at different times and tell the ground crew stuff. So there's a big lull in it right now, just waiting for him to talk again. Blah, 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 leadership, blah, blah, blah. blah, blah, blah protocol, fill out paperwork, blah, blah, blah. If you have any needs, know who to talk to, blah, blah, blah. Do, 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 do. I can't make out what was just said. Okay, a new head honcho's talking. Deputy of Communications. Comm plans. Stuff about repeaters, blah, blah, blah. How to work their radios. This is, not meant for the public, but we're just listening in. Blah, blah, blah. The guy just said, have a good day. I bet the next person to talk will be from a different. Okay. I see trainee, California Team 10. So it's Incident Management Team 10? I didn't even know there was a 10. I think he said IMT 10. That, we might be able to find their stuff on YouTube then. Okay. 100% pure static. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's very loud. Something type 2. That could be airplanes or strike teams. I have no idea. Visibility issues right now. We need to get information out. We know there's fires out there that we can't see. All I'm asking is look at your communications responsibilities. You should confirm everything that you hear. Ask people if you don't know. We need to make sure we over-communicate instead of under-communicate. So far, the tone is one of seriousness, and they seem very worried that the communication issues will get people hurt. That's my assessment. So the terrain is pretty bad. The fire probably chewed through most telephone lines and maybe took out cell phone towers by now. I mean, it's pretty large. Division where? And something W will be arriving soon. Can't really make that out. Have a safe day, blah, blah, blah. That might be it for their radio briefing. And they have one every morning where everybody has to stop and just listen to the briefing. It'll be the weather and all the different head honchos with their different divisions, a safety officer, communications guy, and a team management leader. I'll get to tell people what to expect and look out for the day. So I think that just ended. So what else we have to talk about? We can read InstaWeb and the official reports. Let's give it a refresh to see. Usually, oh, here we go. We got the update 27 minutes ago. I can't believe that what we're seeing, 51,468 acres. This has got to be including the other little spot fires, but for a 48-hour time period, that's That is explosive growth. Ouch. Okay, that just scared me. Oh, that's just regular dispatch canceling a public lift assist. Okay, so I'm dealing with, sorry, all these irritating tones in my ear that you can't hear. Because everything going on from minor traffic accidents to elderly people falling is coming across the radio too. So I hope that was useful. Hey Cobra, good morning. Yeah, this is a doozy, and I'm there's a real race against time right now before noon. Can they stop forward progress towards Wairika and other vulnerable communities before noon? Because if you can't, then you're dealing with a nightmare. 3 o'clock, I fully expect hell to break loose if the weather forecast is correct. Yeah, that'll be storms moving in with lightning and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I'm sure pyrocumulus clouds will form by 11, just like yesterday. They formed in between 9:30 and 10 in the morning. I had an amazing time lapse up, but I had to restart the computer, and it would be hard to show you. But just it was horrible yesterday. Looking from the 9:30 hour to the 10:30, the 1 hour time lapse was like a normal lazy fire exploding into nuclear bomb type looking territory. And that early in the morning, that's pretty nuts. So the firefighters are dealing with a nightmare forecast, nightmare terrain, and a nightmare state to work in. Yeah, dry lightning storms, and just like what caused this. Um, I am unclear about the power lines maybe causing, and I'm not sure, but power lines going down may have complicated and caused other fires along 96. I'm not sure if, presumably that's PG&E's territory, if they had de-energized the lines before they fell down, but many of them fell down. Either the fire chewed through them and they were dead, de-energized, and didn't contribute to this. But if they were alive, they certainly did contribute to this. So that'll be one of those questions that gets answered long after everything goes. So yeah, Mountain Kayaker says, what does everybody think of the Watch Duty app? I think it's like the best thing since bread. Bread was invented at one time. It's more important than sliced bread. I'm very glad that they allow notifications for more counties, but uh, for the poor that just can't run around buying tons of apps, I would think that my biggest suggestion for watch duty is that there should be an option for my location, like my current location. Always alert me for fires within a 25-mile radius of my location. I think that would make it a life-saving app rather than an informational one. Because here I'm going to donate, at least the dollar a month to get, all the counties, because I need to know about all the counties personally. But I think they're really moving in the right direction. I've liked most of their updates. I was one of the first the first promoters of that app. Hang on a second, we got more crackle over the radio. Let's see what they're saying. Is this fire related? Something visibility. We requested a helicopter. Will that work? Don't know what's being said. Okay, somebody says, let us know as soon as it clears. I think the smoke. Can't hear the other person's replying, though. So they need a helicopter desperately for some reason, and smoke presumably is keeping it grounded. Now, I don't have a whole lot of hope for aircraft. Aircraft working before all hell breaks loose at noon would be the best outcome here, but because there's a dead call, there's all this smoke. And if there's all this smoke, the aircraft can't help. Aircraft are the #1 tide turners, so pretty much all of the indications for today are that it's bad. The only bright spot is they took great advantage of last night, and they put a lot of dozer lines to the west and northwest of Wairika, and they're happy with their work, with what they're able to accomplish. Doesn't mean Wairika's safe, but it's a good sign. So let's go back and read InstaWeb's update, because we got it every morning and every night. They usually do an update. Sometimes they do it more frequently. So if you go to InstaWeb, it's Incident Overview. You hit the Updates tab, the News tab. Let's see, what is it? Information tab, actually. Incident Overview in the Information. So for people who are just tuning in, or international viewers wondering what the hell's going on in California, the seasonal July and August lightning storms are here. And the first one to hit the Shasta/Siskiyou County area in the north and northwest section of the state arrived night before last, and all hell broke loose with hundreds of lightning strikes, dozens of fires started by them. I don't know if the power company de-energized the lines or not before they fell down, but they had many, many poles down right on the main highway, which was the evacuation route for most people. So it got clogged really quickly. They told people to go to a community center, then fire overwhelmed and burned down the community center. They told firefighters and such to go to Oak Knoll work area, and then they panicked mayday called over the radio that fire reached the Oak Knoll work area, and everybody heading there, go back the way you came, and everybody there, get the heck out. Oh god, there's a medical tone right in my ear. I'm turning it down. Jeez. Oh no, I can't deal with that sound. So this is my summary in a nutshell, and then I'll read the official summary. It's some of the most dramatic and crazy stuff for this region, which is not as steep, and not the mountains are not as high as the Sierras. For this region, though, this is about as bad as a fire possibly can get. Yeah, with explosive behavior, the storms raged all night, back to back. They kept moving in, and firefighters at first were like, "Yeah, let's pounce on this and get them while they're small." And winds would blow one direction, and they would just set up shop and get out of their vehicles, only for the wind to snap, change direction, pick up to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and overwhelm their vehicles and make them flee. I mean, there was just one weird call where there was a shout, and he says, "Oh my God, our pickup truck is going to burn down because we left the window open." And they had left it, there was a gated residence, gated driveway. They got out of the pickup to go make sure that the person was out, and then ran back to the pickup to make sure the pickup wasn't burning down. It's been insane. I think some people got injured yesterday, and I don't know their status. So this is what I was hearing during that time. Yesterday, since I had been up all night covering the fire, I slept all day, woke up at 9:30, and have been trying to go live since, and now I have the ability to, at least you can hear me, but you can't hear this. You can't hear the radio. That's because I have a ghetto laptop, but with your kind donations and enough of them, the next purchase I will be making is a robust laptop so I can take my show on the road without problems, and I thank all of you for that. So I'm still in El Dorado County, not at home. I do not have the supercomputer. We have really primitive internet here, and this is like minimum requirements, so I apologize for any issues. So let's go to InstaWeb. Any questions so far? It's very hard for me to monitor chat. I thank you, all the mods, and thank everybody for being here. If you hit the like button, this will help us go trending, and this will reach more people that need help. And if you would be so kind as to share the link of the stream with anybody you think needs it, put it on your own Facebook, your own Twitter, like that is the number one way people find us. It's the free way that you can help. So let me look back up at the chat. Hang on a second. Working our way in what? Georgia school? Going past the Quigley store now. I'll meet you down there, or see you down there, somebody just said. So I don't know what that was about, but apparently Quigley store is still there. Otherwise, wouldn't he be saying where the Quigley store was? Okay, sorry, I have to interrupt everything I'm saying to go check on that. There have been bad losses, though, lots of homes. One of the horrible things I heard on the radio last night, or yesterday morning, was, what the buildings look like by 96. I don't know which stretch of 96, but they said leveled, and I wasn't sure that that was the word used, but that was the word used. If you look at my Twitter feed, which is @kwildfires, I don't show devastation on my stream very much because this is a supportive environment. A lot of people are traumatized, but on my Twitter, I show everything. I do showcase the work of the journalists who bravely go in there and show us what's going on. Okay, so if there's a lull in the radio enough, let's read about the official as updated as of 27 minutes ago. The incident, the McKinney fires, by the way, now being called the SKU Late July Lightning Complex. A complex means a fire where there's a bunch of little fires that kind of merge into one, or at least hang around the same area. Usually lightning is the reason for that. Oh, there's more radio. Let's see if that's important. It says, are you down in the Quigley's area? Yes, I'm just east near the Beaver Creek turn. It sounds like they're just meeting each other. He says, I'll meet you there. Okay. And so he's running out of batteries for his radio, but find me, my vehicle is red, blah, blah, blah. So on Friday, July 29th, at approximately 2:15 p.m., firefighters responded to a newly reported wildfire on the Oak Knoll Ranger District of the Klamath National Forest. Initially, resources included 5 crews, 12 engines, 5 water tenders, which is a water truck, and 2 dozers with several helicopters and air tankers also on the scene. A Type 2 team was ordered and will take control of the fire on Sunday morning, which seems to be, from what I've heard, California Incident Management Team 10, if I heard that correct. A portion of Highway 96 is closed due to the fire. Prior to traveling, please check Caltrans road conditions, roads.ca.gov for the most current conditions. Please continue to monitor Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, community.zonehaven.com for any updates on evacuations. And it's pretty startling. If you go to Zone Haven, it's a massive section of the state that's under evacuation. And basically, once you're here, you should put in your own address. Riga. Now, this is how it works. Really easy. I'm listening to the radio real quick. They want a helicopter and they're not saying why. He said something's been going for several days or something days ago, but I couldn't make out what. Aha, so Klamath National Forest has a Twitter update. Let's check on that. Okay, live, hot off the press. Activity on both fires moderated into the evening as smoke inversion settled over the fire. And if you ever see smoke at night, that's good. Smoke is like a blanket, like putting a frying pan lid on a simmering, simmer down the bacon, so to speak. But rest assured, that's the wrong thing to say. Grimly, rest assured that today's massive thunderstorms will blow away the smoke and make everything worse. The fire became active again about midnight. Crews were actively engaged in structure protection overnight. So let's read this small update, then I'll read you the incident. Does it get bigger? Oh, really? How do I make it bigger so I can read it? Click, click, click. Click. That is bigger? Really? What happened here? How did I lose it? Update. Fires at 50 acres. We'll continue to put the hose lay down towards the bottom and we're working on the Y. I think he's talking about one of the little spots. We're going to be running on Klamath for command on TAC 2 and air attack. And he's saying keep your guys on the radio on Klamath. And they said where they're at, they're going to play it by ear. So the crews are being extremely wary today for a good reason. Alright. Why did the internet freak out? Sorry guys. It's like being on dial-up. I click something and nothing happens. I click again and 2 clicks happen. Never mind. I'm just gonna let that chase its tail. It said some people are responding to the Alex incident and there will be a meeting or something later. Okay. Alright, so back to InstaWeb. Let me look at chat, see if there's questions. Mountain Kayaker said, I recall driving up and down that part of I-5, the Oregon border, visiting relatives in Mount Shasta. Yeah. Big Dog says I-5 is still open for the moment. Anyway, according to Trip Check Oregon, that's good to know. Where the fire is at now, they actually don't know. They can't see anything. This is why we need big FLIR cameras on the mountains, just like we had with the Dixie and the Caldor. Where are they now? So the cams are just solid gray. And last night, even, when the smoke just settled over everything, they tried to drive closer to the fire to get an idea of where it was, but couldn't see anything. Hey, good morning, Paul. Good morning. So, it's crazy this day and age with all our technology. If we don't put it in the hands of firefighters, that they don't know where the fire is, and that's why nobody should refuse to evacuate right now. If you think you could see a mega fire coming towards you, you can't. We saw invisible 300-foot tall walls of fire burning 200-foot tall trees pour over the mountains in the Dixie fire, and people had no idea. Less than half a mile away because the smoke was so thick. Think of it as the rain-wrapped tornadoes that are invisible in the Midwest. If a tornado's in the rain, you can't see it. You're just suddenly lifted off your feet and you hear a noise and you go flying. So they're ordering 2 additional water tenders. That's what the radio is saying. Hey, Marcia. Yep, glad you found us too. So I'm gonna look up a chat for real quick and then. John Sater says, morning, glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here too. Hey, Mystery. Hi, you guys. Harley Ryder says, I believe Hooperville is at a big risk in the hours ahead. I think everything in the area is at a big risk in the hours ahead. Alan T says, being in the fire service, the best app I've used. Yeah. There's another app too that can warn you if fire is around you, and that one's called Fire. Gosh, let me find it. It's on my Pixel. Let's see, which one is that called? Let me scroll through my apps. It's come a long way. They keep working on it. They're talking about a house that people need to go check on. I'm not gonna say that on the radio. Oh, where is it? I've got way too many apps. What is it called? Fire something. EF is flight aware and stuff. You know what? It must be on the Samsung. So I'm trying to move away from the Pixel because it's the phone of chaos. I've had nothing but problems with it. FireGuard. It's called FireGuard on Android, and that's the one that's gonna let you know if a fire is near you and track your location. I think that's the thing that Watch Duty is missing. So RJ says, are you in Tahoe or Oregon? Neither. Also the Shackford fire. What was that? I'm in El Dorado / the border of Amador County. I'm kind of near Elmo Ranch, where the Caldor fire started. Went about within about 25 minutes, I could be where the Caldor started. That's where I'm at. So it's not very good internet here. So as White Dove says here at Mount Shasta, the Klamath River area, Happy Camp, etc., has seen enough, and I'm sad. Oh yeah, Shasta, Butte County, Plumas, El Dorado, uh, everything of the Coast Range of California has seen too much. Okay. Thank you guys for being here once again. Let's go back to talking about the incident overview. Current as of this morning at 8. The incident type is a wildfire. Yes. Now, total personnel on it are 648. The size is 51,468 acres, and that's pretty nuts. Tells you about the fuel dryness and the ferocity of this lightning storm. This is the third year of the La Nina drought. Thanks climate change, hashtag wonderful. Fun times. It's a extremely challenging time to be a firefighter and, well, anybody living in a fire-prone area. The fuels involved are timber, which is litter and understory, tall grass, which is 2.5 feet tall at this time of year, and brush that's about 2 feet tall. And significant events. You can characterize this fire as extreme. It's making short crown runs, uphill runs, and it's spotting. And today they forecasted with the wind conditions 1/2 mile to 1 mile spotting. Now, if any of these pyrocumulus clouds form and then windstorms come in and collapse them, then firefighters will have 360 degrees around them, like 60-mile-per-hour wind. It's not fun. So the weather guys, the weather folks, will try to tell the firefighters when they can expect the column to collapse, and they will go running to safe spots. And I pray that they're safe. So the outlook for today, their planned actions are continue with point protection, just like the areas that they can safely work in, like hold a section, for example, scout indirect line locations where resources could be affected. I can tell you right now that scouting is not going to be very good because it's all, well, smoked in. They'll implement direct and indirect tactics as resources arrive and are engaged. Contingency planning for areas further west and east as perimeters continue to spread. Fire weather concerns. A fire weather watch in effect from Sunday through Monday for abundant lightning on dry fuels. Gusty outflow winds of 30 to 50 miles an hour. In fact, they said 60 on the radio. Clearly 60. Will be possible near thunderstorm cells. LAL of 3. Above normal temperatures and low relative humidity will increase the drying of the receptive fuels bed. Hey, I think that was a pilot. Or somebody talking about aircraft arriving. It's really broken. So I hope aircraft will arrive. We'll check that. What? 7 souls on board. ETA 12 minutes. 12 to 22 minutes. Okay, aircraft are coming. Souls on board means aircraft stuff. And there was a lady who sounded like a very young lady. I wonder if she's the lady pilot that does the Chinook stuff. That would be cool. I can't remember her name, but she was like 17 years old and worked on the Caldor with a Chinook. It's like, dude. She might be 19 now. Talking about rendezvousing at the Walker Bridge. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, back to my thing. Okay, looking back at the chat. Mountain Kayaker says, live in Cameron Park. Okay. John Colgrove says, Quigley store back in the 80s working trails for the Forest Circus in the Marble Mountains. The Forest Circus, Forest Service, yeah. We'd come out after 10 days in the backcountry and split 2 ways one of the blackberry pies. Oh, man, that sounds awesome. Yeah, exactly. James Lucid, nuclear disasters can and do contribute to climate change. They're forgotten that way. Um, more than 5,000 nuclear tests in the 60s, and the nitrous oxide emissions from that were tremendous, and they kind of burned away the atmosphere a bit. I mean, CFCs contributed to the stripping away of the ozone layer, but boy, did it start to heal after the nuclear test ban treaty above ground. What in the heck is that? Jeez, you scared me, John. Oh, God. Heart attack. Thank you. He's giving me a bear hug. So here I am streaming and stuff, and I hear clang in the kitchen. And John's stealthed up in his slippers there, his moccasins he's wearing, and then dropped something that clanged on the tile floor. Just about died from the sound. Whew. So he's awesome. John Soker says hi, everybody. He's the mod whose house I'm staying in. Okay, my heart. Alrighty. Okay. Paul Coffey says no mention of temp with the current weather. Oh, it's going to be 105. Yeah, 115 in Redding or something in the valley. So where I'm at in El Dorado County, it's going to be 100. I mean, it was starting to feel hot, muggy, uncomfortable at 7. So yeah, I have a bad feeling about today. The monsoonal moisture stuff is here. The high Sierras might see thunderstorms and stuff too in the Tahoe area. So I'm just not feeling great about today. Bear with me, guys. I've been awake a long time. It's 9:30 p.m. Back to InstaWeb. Projected incident activity for today. Within the next 12 hours, point protection of values at risk operations will continue along the 96 corridor, the Beaver Creek community, and the smaller communities from Highway 5 to Horse Creek and Scott Bar. By the way, guys, I'm really confused about the maps. Some places say Humbug, some say Hamburg, some say Steelhead. All the maps are different for these places that they're naming, and it's really confusing me. So if you could enlighten me as to why that is, that would be great. Scouting opportunities for indirect and line construction as fire moves in all of the directions. That's because the wind has been erratic and been pushing it in all different directions. When firefighters can't predict what fire does, they wisely choose a safe spot and they hang around the safe spot to retreat to. Even though they see something tempting in the distance, like, oh, we could go put out that little spot, they will not leave a place where they can retreat to safety if they are wise. And we can't blame them. Fire has progressed to Collins Badley Lookout. I thought it was Baldy. In the south and is backing towards Scott Bar. Remember, backing is slow fire behavior. It's either going against the wind or just going downhill. In Deadwood Baldy Peak on the east flank. Fire will continue to move west towards Horse Creek and north into the 2014 Beaver Fire Scar towards Round Mountain. Sounds like a pilot just said good morning, by the way. He's really broken up. Area under fire weather watch for abundant lightning. I think they meant to say the area is under fire weather watch for abundant lightning and thunderstorm development. Can I make this bigger? Yeah. Is this better for you guys? Okay. In the next 24 hours, point protection operations continue. They'll keep doing what they're doing. They'll implement opportunities for indirect and direct line construction as the fire moves in all directions, because as the thunderstorms keep coming in the next 24 hours, they're gonna play it safe. So I think it's just a repeat of everything except spotting, slope runs, and fire weather watch for lightning and thunderstorms and outflowing winds will cause a high rate of spread. It's dangerous, unpredictable. In the next 48 hours, the fire growth is expected to spread in all directions, as the red flag warning for thunderstorms and lightning are still in the forecast. Fire could impact Gottville, Humbug Road area on the east flank. Movement towards Scott Bar is expected as the fire moves off Collins Baldy to the southwest. Northern spread by spotting strong outflow winds in the Beaver Fire Scar. So, it's bad. It's very bad. And let's see, the cams are still smoked in. Oh boy. See, the moment that the camera pivots even a little bit, it goes back into the pea soup. It's like a thick fog. Okay, looking back at chat. Mike Goetina says my house was in Walker. Yeah, I'm praying for everybody that things look better than forecast. Let's pray for a miracle here. White Dove says we broke an all-time temperature record in Mount Shasta on Thursday for 105 degrees. I like the town Mount Shasta. It's pretty cool. White Dove says I think, but I'm not sure here in the Humbug is a mountain, and the Hamburg area is a put-in on the Klamath River. Okay, that's helpful. So a mountain versus a stretch of the river. Okay. So let's see. Sally Martigani had to move to Elk Grove to be closer to my grown kids, so I missed the country. Yeah. RJ says we've been at 100 degrees plus, and finally it's only 90s this week. Only the 90s. Guess the heat moved north. Yeah. Oh, somebody's talking about incident command. Let me know when you're ready to copy. I'm ready to copy. Let's listen. Are you guys ready to copy what I copy? Here the ground will be 165 decibel 9875. Are you copying, RJ? I think you have a magic radio or something, but additionally, 9 Papa Juliet is going to attempt to make it to your incident at 0901. Wow, that is a young lady's voice saying we're going to be the only copter coming in. It's her, it's the lady pilot. Helitanker 917 coming from Siskiyou County. Okay, let's look at flight radar, guys. Why does it always go to that long? Looks like we're number 2, just behind the other landing at Siskiyou County somewhere. It's broken, but there's multiple pilots checking in. Oh boy. It's pea soup, but I hope it clears out a little bit. Come on, little computer. You can do it. You can struggle. Okay. Oh, yeah. So that's the lady helicopter's ride. Lady pilot's ride, the helicopter. Excuse me. And what's the other one? What's the other plane? Ah, they're too close. Okay, let's click on the lead plane here. I'm having problems. There we go. Aha. So there's a mini copter compared to the behemoth over here. What is the behemoth? It's a Sikorsky. It's not a Chinook. Well, of course it's not a Chinook, but aha. She was. Oh, it's 57 years old. Dang. That's no wonder it looks Soviet, Soviet era. She was in the Chinook during the Dixie, and I think in 2022. She may not be old enough to even drink. I think she's awesome. Okay. There's really no minimum age on flying. Like, you can get a pilot's license before you get a driver's license. Okay. White Dove says, thank you for covering this, Kathryn, and hello, guys. My pleasure? Just never the right response. Hang on, this has gotten really loud in my ear. So, some aircraft is on the way. A bunch of the tankers are headed to Medford, and ready to help. Yeah, somebody needs to contact Division Papa on their frequency to see what their needs are. Because he said the fire is doing something, but it crackled when he was describing what it was doing. Anyways, I would love like a magic AI controlled app that would just erase the scratchiness off of radios automatically. Somebody invent that. Okay, so let's get on flight radar and see where they're headed. Play flight, right of the flight of the Valkyries. Because of this laptop, we can't do the 3D view. Helicopter 506. Lady pilot said, 506, you were right near us. Come back. You know what? I can give you guys the link to this, and you can listen to me and this at the same time. Paul Coffey says, would you believe it? A lot of pilots don't know how to drive a car. I do, because I hang out with C-Probe a lot. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, he's a good driver of cars, too. He's a good pilot, too. I was kind of a little intimidated. Mountain flying in the Sierras can kill. Felt totally safe with him, though. He knows his stuff. Let's see. RJ says, Mike, at least you got out of the fire. I know that you can stay strong. Oh, no. Did you lose your house, Mike? I'm so sorry if that's... Okay, a certain engine says it's returning to quarters. Let's go back and look at what's going on with the piloting. And... Nine Papa Juliet says we have 2 souls on board. Fuel for almost 2 and it's something 2.5 or something hours. Now, the other helicopter is going to the Shackelford incident. Am I saying that right? Oh my God, that's loud in my ear. So tell me about this other incident. I don't even know what the whatever incident is. I should know that, but I've been troubleshooting the computer issues all night. Was it a medium to just, or is it just over here on the west side of the runway? Is what they just said. So I'm looking at watch duty. There's China fire. Okay, the Shackelford is, according to watch duty, happened 7:15 p.m. on yesterday. Somebody's responding to the new start at Scott River Road, requesting a mechanic at Fort Jones Station. Only able to maintain 25 miles an hour. And I don't know who just said that, so. Was this another one of the lightning deals? Huh. Okay, somebody's broken down at Fort Jones. Saying Nipsey Tech 2. Now this is the eye in the sky. It's Sead Valley, right? Am I saying it right? So any aircraft you're going to see over this general region have to do with the fire because there's a flight restriction over active wildfires. Beach Kings typically are the eye in the sky. Now, Broncos and Orions, they're going to be the ones leading tankers in, but I don't think we have any tankers. It's just pea soup. I mean, we could do a 3-hour time lapse. And there's a whole lot of gray. You can see little mountains there. See the little mountains, sort of, almost, kind of. Helicopter 3 is taken to the sky, or trying to. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot of VLAT action today. Best case scenario, say the crazy storms arrive and they're wetter than forecast. And they leave really quickly the region and they don't start any new fires with their lightning. That would be great. And then their wind pushes the smoke away. And then in the evening, right before sunset means they can't fly anymore, a bunch of VLATs take to the sky, which is really big passenger jets. And they dump a lot of retardant. And they get a boost. And then tomorrow's thunderstorms are extremely wet. And that would be the very, very, very best case miracle scenario. We can pray for that. If not expected. But hey, it's Syad. Like Syad? Okay, like Dryad? Okay. Oh my gosh. The lady pilot, I thought my voice made me sound young, actually. Now people tell me my voice sounds like a 70-year-old's, but I don't know how to take that. But this lady pilot's voice, you gotta hear it. Like, you gotta follow the link I did. She sounds like she's 12. It's awesome. I mean, I like that. I think it's funny. Not insulting, like, haha, but oh my gosh, it's awesome. Can you imagine? I imagine she's petite too. Like, walking up to a bar and getting carded, and you're like, oh, so what do you do, little lady? Do you have a summer job? She's like, yeah, I fly Chinooks, put out wildfires, you know. No, give me a shot of whiskey or 3 fingers of milk, because I don't think she's 21 yet. My math isn't very good. But Big Dog says there's a large refueling base in Medford, Oregon for the firefighting aircraft. Yeah, and I think it's like a secondary thing if there's too much smoke near Reading. Reading has a lot of the retardant. Sometimes Chico does. Definitely Sacramento's McClellan does. And they usually just take the truckers and they put all the retardant in one spot, and they have to have the big airports for the big VLATs, the big passenger jet planes, the Sky Whales, and the little Marsh S2s and such can use the smaller airports like Jackson Airport and whatnot for the electrifier. I saw some of those parked there. I crawled around. By the way, guys, I have a couple of still photos I can show you at some point in time. I crawled around an actual Black Hawk at Jackson Airport. It was just kind of sitting there when Steve and I were getting ready to fly. So I wandered over. I was like, yo, what's up? There's a Bambi bucket just kind of sitting there. It was 105 degrees. And I was like, can I see your helicopter? And they're like, sure. So I whip out the phone and I start filming in 4K 60 frames a second for you guys. Like, here's a tour of the inside of a Black Hawk. And that's when the pixel went, your phone has shut down due to overheating. It was 105, but dang, that would have been really cool. So I said, can I contact the company and then later maybe film it for real? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I did get a couple of still photos, and I hopped inside of it. It didn't have any doors. It's kind of like a Huey helicopter in Vietnam. The doors are off the sides, and it's all stripped down. You could see exposed wires and stuff all over the place. Like you could see the insides and guts of the helicopter. And then they had a little sunshade, just like we do for our cars, like a little foil sunshade up on the windscreen. And they had custom windows, like the bubble windows. So instead of a straight window, they can lean their heads, like stick their head out of the helicopter and look down. And they have like a little bubble of plexiglass, just like women have when we dry our hair at the hairdryer, like the salon. And I was like, dude, what's this called? It's a modification. And they go, it's called a bubble. Oh, okay. Very, very creative. And I wish I could have shown that to you guys, but man, someday we will. Looking back up at the chat, 9 Papa Whiskey, we got your ADSB here. We'll get you right. So, yep, it's official. Air Command's talking. And yeah, thank you, Sister Golden Hair. Give me a coffee. John Stoker. I know you're listening to my broadcast in the other room. I need coffee. Please bring coffee. If I go into the kitchen, I'll lose signal. My headphones are being dinky right now. John, paging John. Coffee service. I have a $5 bill here. I'm waving it in the air. Give me coffee. Coffee. Do we have any donuts? I don't think we have any donuts. Okay, guys. I may have to go get the coffee myself, but we'll wait here. Navy D says I would be happy to have my taxes pay Kathryn a yearly salary for the coverage. I would too. Not your taxes, but you know. Oh goodness. Thank you. So if anybody can throw me $5, I'd really appreciate it right now. This has been about the most expensive trip of my lifetime. And I do appreciate everybody who's donated anything at any time. Sister Golden Hair, by the way, hi, says 105 but probably 125 on the tarmac. True. It was uncomfortable. Jane Blackbird says, thanks, Mountain Kayaker, on behalf of the critters. I missed some chat. Let's go up. Okay, I'm listening. They're talking. Pilots are talking. He's getting me coffee, guys. I summoned him. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I turned it off because I want to give you all the upvotes.
Oh, it's okay. Download's fine.
Still,
Oh, he actually heard me. He's making me coffee. He's a saint. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to listening to the pilots. What were they saying? General pilot stuff. Something's going to be on the west side of that something. That was really scratch. Alright, let's go see where they're flying. Looks like they're headed over to Scott Valley. What do we got for foodage? What do we got for food? Oh, thank you.
French toast.
Huh?
French toast.
French toast? Oh my god, I'd worship you. Yeah, thank you. There's another $5. He's gonna cook for me, guys. Okay, they're just talking about the radios. They're telling certain ground crews to be on certain tactical channels to get ready for working with the aircraft. Things are happening, guys. Still pea soup. Antelope Mountain cam. Fort Jones cam. So it looks like Fort Jones is the north part of Scott Valley. Is this what I'm seeing? Yeah. Wait, is this Scott Valley? Yeah, it's Scott Valley Airport. Looks like it. So this area is evacuated. And what is their altitude? 5,400 feet. That's not high above the mountains. That's sketchy. They'll basically, since they can't see much, just look at their charts and see what the highest terrain is and just fly above it. but low altitude flying is the most dangerous kind. If the average citizen will be like, if they're asked the question, would you rather have an emergency at 40,000 feet or 4,000 feet in your aircraft? And those normal people will be like, 4,000 feet, because maybe you could land it that way and not die. But in reality, you want to have that emergency as high as possible so you can get over your shock of, oh no, something just went wrong. Take some steps, figure out something, and recover before you nosedive into the ground. So the higher you are, the more time you have. You have a problem at 4,000 feet, an engine cuts out or something, you don't have time to restart it. And you don't have a lot of time to glide down and figure out a safe place to land either. So we should never underestimate the danger that all these pilots are doing. In fact, they lost a helicopter crew in Montana just last week, I think. It's some of the most dangerous stuff in the world. But the pilots are the happiest, I've noticed. On the radio, they just love their job. They're adrenaline junkies, and it's very rewarding and exciting. So let's see here. But they're a different breed for sure. All right, let me go back to the chat. So 40,000 feet for sure. Jane Blackbird says yes. By the way, is your last name like a fake last name, or is it really Blackbird? Because the SR-71 Blackbird is my favorite plane, because that's the plane my dad worked on. I want to interview Dad. He's like, I don't know, people are not interested in the SR-71. I'm like, Dad, like, working on that plane makes you elite. Like, people respect that. He goes, oh no, I was just ground crew. I'm like, Dad, you programmed a flight simulator with punch cards in the days before there was a mouse, a keyboard, or even a monitor on the computer. So that's pretty elite. That's like hard computing right there. That's hard mode. He gets intimidated by Windows 10, and I'm like, Dad, you can handle it. You've done harder things before. Ow! It's a tone in my ear. Stop. Okay, stop it with the medical tones. Sorry, friends, I have to get that off because it's blasting my eardrum out. Just be glad you can't hear the crackly stuff today. It would drive me nuts. So, "50-year-old female with a general illness," so not fire related. I don't know if there's been any injuries of the fire crews. Let's go back to InsaWeb to see if there's been. I think that it might explain whether or not there's been any injuries. Let's go to the bottom. That's about it for the update of today. Do we have bacon?
Yeah, I have bacon.
Sweet. Oh, John takes care of me. Okay, so let's see. There's more tabs. Helicopter 3 Tingo Whiskey is 3 miles south of VFR. Going to a Kelsey fire, is that what you said? It's all kind of broken. There's traffic alerts for the announcements, QR codes. Oh, yeah, this was cool. I put this on the Twitter. They have a QR code. One second. Pilot stuff. I think he's saying if anybody flies on the east side of the fire, please advise him. Okay, the QR codes. Please use them in the attached flyer. Check it out, guys. Let's put this in the link section. Now, if it's already on your phone, you can't scan the QR code that's already on your phone. You'd have to take a screenshot of it. I don't know how that would work. Nevi D says, Kathryn and Mods, is this the fastest growing fire ever? It's so bloody fast. No. It might be for its region. But the car fire was insane. It spawned actual fire tornadoes. Tornadoes can outrun vehicles on the ground going 65 miles an hour. They can go pretty crazy. I would think the car fire was worse, and every kind of fire in the Sierras that is a monster fire will move faster because the slopes are steeper. In the Sierras, you've got high altitude, like 8,000 feet at Kit Carson Pass for the Caldor fire, and when the Santa Ana winds and Diablo winds, they go hurricane force speed in their gusts, and they pour out of the Nevada desert with the dry air there. Those seasonal winds that run from October to January, those are the worst fires that California has. And that's the Paradise Fire, November 8th. People think that winter is like dormancy, and summer is California's fire season. No, California fire season is all year round. I mean, like February and March might be the only times you can relax a little bit. Um, every other month has its own challenges, and autumn and winter is the worst. That's when you get the Diablo winds blowing out of the desert. They're fueled by the jet stream when it changes. And hot, dry desert winds pour over the 8,000 and 6,000 foot peaks of the Sierras, and they are just like a roller coaster. They go up the top and they plunge down, and then they hit the river canyons, and that's like a fast lane. That's like the luge, um, or bobsledding in the Winter Olympics. The wind tunnel effect there, they can be 175 mile an hour. They break with the wind gauges. They're so fierce that usually open flame is blown out. It usually takes something really bad, like say a power line fire that just keeps dropping molten metal into dry grass to even get a fire started. But that's what's been happening with PG&E started fires, like the one at Paradise, the campfire. The year before, the Cascade fire that was deadly and killed our family friend. The same thing, same night, that was like October 13th, I believe, 2017, that Santa Rosa basically burned down, more power lines going down in these winds. And it's not just because of the winds. They're built to withstand these winds. It's that PG&E was not maintaining their power lines for about 35 to 40 years after they were investigated, and their internal memos showed that they just thought that cost too much. So, everything in the Sierras is going to be worse and spread faster. The Bear Fire broke records a couple of years ago. Was even worse than the Paradise Fire in spread. And the Dixie Fire spread so fast when it took out Greenville and almost took out Chester. I mean, it marched north from the Seneca area and basically the Highway 70 corridor. The Dixie Fire went north almost past the volcano. It went 17 miles to the north in just like 4 hours. It was insane as we watched it. It was just nuts, and there's nothing like the wind tunnel effect of the Sierras. This is the Coast Range slash Cascades over here, and they're just not as tall. And the winds, when they hit them, kind of die down because they come out of the, like say the Diablo winds, that come out of the Nevada desert. They already hit the valley and slow down a bit before they hit the west side of the valley. So, but it's nothing to sneeze at. And Christopher Luttrell says, how about the Dixie Fire with the fire tornadoes? Yep. Those are definitely tornadoes that went over Dyer Mountain. I mean, we saw them moving. And the only thing that would disqualify them from being true tornadoes would be if they didn't reach 75 miles an hour, which is the category 1, F1, So Broken Fish Hen says, new fire start on the Umpqua National Forest. Oh, don't say that. The fire is actively burning in timber near the Wendigo Pass off Forest Service Road 60 on the Douglas and Klamath County Divide. 100 acres as of last night. Boy, so Oregon just got it too. It starts. So, sorry, I didn't know that this was kind of askew. This is cool. I like this, but they need to actually put clickable links too on this, because if you already have this on your smartphone, you can't scan it. But it's good. So let's put this link in the chat. So here we go. They're learning, they're trying to get the word out to the public. People can print these out, and that's what you can do to help your community, is print stuff like that out and just go to the grocery store and put it on the bulletin board. And go to the local high school or wherever, put it on the bulletin board. Go staple it to like to telephone poles and stuff where people walk. White Dove says the local paper reported a 39 to 50K foot, yeah, tall pyrocumulus cloud and fire tornado on the day the fire started. The community center in Klamath River has been destroyed. Well, it was a vortex. The difference between a fire tornado and a vortex is whether or not it moves anywhere. Vortexes are stationary. So I know the vortex was confirmed. Turns out the center of all pyrocumulus clouds is a vortex. It's part of how they form. So anytime that air gets heated up, it rises, right? It's just hot air rises. So if there's a lot of fuel, a tremendous amount of fuel that's dry, just ready to burn, the air is going to be hotter. The hotter the air and the more that's coming in, the faster it rises. So it builds up speed, and it reaches a point where it twists. And that's because it has to, physically. Just ask a physics professor. Don't ask me, because I never had a physics class. But at a certain point, it'll start to twist. Think about a 2-liter Pepsi bottle or something, and you wanted to pour it down a sink. If you just put it upside down, it goes glug, glug, glug. But if you gave it a little shake and you turn it into like a little whirlpool, it'll drain real quickly. So when hot air is rising and other hot air from beneath it is pushing it into the sky, it reaches a speed where it has to twist to even leave the area. So the twisting begins. And just side note, if you see any sort of twisting action, even things that are like 1 foot tall on the ground, that's a huge warning, a danger warning, and firefighters are now understanding that they should probably leave the area or be super on the lookout, because that's talks about all the instability of the air. So anyway, when these mega fires begin and the tremendous amount of fuel goes up and the tremendous amount of heat, the air starts to twist, and that makes the hot air rise faster. If it rises faster, a vacuum sort of is created where the air used to be. It's going up into the sky. That vacuum sucks in more fire from further away. And instead of venting straight up, like heat usually wants to go straight up, it actually will go follow the ground and then go up into the vortex because it's being sucked in. And this feeds upon itself. As long as there's fuel around, it's going to get more intense, burn faster, burn hotter, and suck in from a wider area. Then you get these giant pyrocumulus clouds. The smoke pushes high into the sky. And people forget that when fire burns, moisture is released. Like, the fire is a chemical reaction, and one of the things it produces is moisture. So the white puffs that are at the top of the pyrocumulus is the steam. It's the moisture of all the poor little trees and vegetation. Any moisture content of anything that burned is going up in the sky too. So the center of all that you can't see with the naked eye. It just looks like a bunch of clouds. But when we were observing the Dixie Fire and the Caldor with the FLIR cameras, we saw this basically. Let me get you a visual aid here. The FLIR wildfire cameras. I screenshotted that when it happened. That was a 3,500-ish foot tall vortex. This is what the center of the pyrocumulus cloud looks like. And yes, the bright yellow is an actual flame. Like, the flames are going thousands of feet up, and at this point, this is smoke, like superheated smoke. If it's pure white on FLIR, that's generally solid flame. So, insanity. Now, this is kind of by the Moonlight Peak Dyer Mountains in the foreground, if you know Plumas County. And over by Moonlight Peak, it was an old growth forest, one of the last of Plumas County. So when you have old growth trees that are burning and the fallen old growth trees on the ground, that's a tremendous fuel source, and that's what causes some of this. The more fuel on the ground, the more pine needles and dead trees and dead logs and standing dead trees especially, the worse this is going to be. So climate change is a factor with the moisture content and the current drought that makes even living trees burn partially, as if they were dried up Christmas trees in those demonstrations of house fires. But still, chunks of living trees are not going to burn. But all the dead ones on landscape do, and that's why you get this stuff. No matter what is happening with climate change, if you don't have that much fuel load, there's not going to be that much heat and not that much of a cloud. So even though we can't do anything immediately about the climate change thing, it's a long-term project, we can immediately make things better by reducing the fuel load, meaning getting rid of standing dead trees especially, reintroducing very, very slowly and very carefully managed fire on the landscape, and just keep, like the wisdom of the Indians, like listen to them, keep burning the pine needles off year after year to fertilize the land for the forest, and keep the brush down and keep the pine needles from building up, and the dead logs. They've been stacking up for 75 years plus in most of the national forests, and that's been a tremendous mistake. Anytime there is a fire, you have to salvage log the trees down and make sure that there's not, many thousands of dead trees in the landscape, because that's what fuels these and creates megafires. It's a number of factors. So I hope that explains everything. Hey, big dog. Oh, Big Daddy. Oh, hi. Big hugs to you, man. Thank you so much for the donation. You guys do keep me going. I was really panicking yesterday. I only got $5 as a donation. If I don't get enough to eat, live, and drink, then I have to stop doing Firestream, and I don't want to stop. I want to help people. So Brokefish in says, Big Dog, yes, 2 here after the lightning last night. Great. Yeah, thanks, Big Daddy. Hugs. Somebody's talking about air to ground, but that's totally crackly. They're mostly talking about the radio communications right now. They're giving directions to people. If you go left or right here on this road, there's an excellent turnaround spot. So, 4 minutes ago, the Kelsey Creek fire just south of Kelsey Creek is continuing to move towards cabins. This is a bad update. Resources continue to arrive at the incident. Cal Fire Siskiyou is assisting. Aircraft is on the scene. Please monitor your evacuation info at Zone Haven. So, what is the Kelsey? Let's take a look. Here I was supposed to have a 1-hour stream. When did I start? Like 7:30? Yeah. I always lie to myself. Now, if you want this map, I'm going to link it again. This is super. But don't trust the hotspots on this map. There's been an error. I don't even know how to turn them off, or I would. I hit the layers button, and sometimes... Okay, here we go. Let's turn off the is there a way? Satellite activity, Lotus, spheres, and stuff. Satellite viewers. Okay. Now, I would normally have this on, but I think the smoke might be interfering with the satellite or something, because they've been saying that they've been turning these hotspot Lotus and viewers off because there's been anomalies, and sometimes the satellite does pick up false areas of fire because the smoke columns are just so hot. It's a heat detector, not a fire detector, these satellites. So I hope that clears it up. they're good guidelines, like what satellite data can tell us, but it's not pinpoint. It's just, you know, Kelsey. The Kelsey's over here, moving towards cabins. So let's zoom in where the Kelsey's at. Scott River Road at the Bridge Flat area. So there's a button for structures that I have on, but it's not shown. So we're gonna supplement this with CalTopo. CalTopo has better structure stuff, and this is heat detections from space from GOES 17 satellites. So right here is where the Kelsey fire is, right? Scott River and Kelsey Creek. Now let's turn on our structures. Okay, so now you can see the little orange dots are where cabins presumably are and homes. So you can see a little bit more shaded relief there. And if we turn on the Forest Service layer, CalTopo, we got a lot more things. Kelsey Creek Guard Station, for example, a campsite area, water tank, and a mixture of closed roads, paved roads, jeep trails, dirt roads. So let's see if aircraft is making their way over there. And right now, the Beach King, Eye in the Sky. Oh, that's an Aero Commander. Okay, so they've got another Eye in the Sky here. This is always hard for me to. Here's where the Kelsey fire is, right? Yeah, I don't see aircraft there right now, but that's what Klamath National Forest just put on their Facebook. I wish there was one-stop shopping for all the fire info, like one single website, but I've been saying this for several years now. Okay. They're just assessing whether or not it's viable to open up another dozer line, but if they specified where, I couldn't make it out. Okay, we can go look back at chat again. Oh my gosh, Big Daddy, you gave me a double whammy. Thank you for the donations. Did you mean to do that twice? Do you need a refund? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. This channel is amazing. No, you are. You guys make it happen. I can't do this on my own. Mountain Mike says, Smitty, you're making me hungry. Sounds like fire camp food. High energy for hard work ahead. Yeah. Hey, Smitty. Glad you made it. And thank you, Big Daddy. Please dispense hugs to anybody who needs it. See Big Daddy. Report to him for hugs. Anybody in need of hugs. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here, too. And nuke that like button so that we get trending. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So, let's see. Broken Fish says we're expecting to see more fires pop today. Oh yeah, massive lightning storms are moving in. If I tried to get Windy up, it might just break this computer. That website is quite intense. What I recommend better than Windy is something called My Radar. It's better in general. It's just simpler and better for us non-meteorologists. It looks like so. iOS, Android, blah, blah, blah. You have to get it from the Microsoft store, but it's much better than last year. MyRadar.com. This has the most beautiful and clear and concise info. I use somebody's returning to quarters from Oak Knoll Code 1. Huh, okay. Doesn't that mean lights and sirens? Isn't that usually from an injury, but I Didn't hear about an injury. Okay. I'm still listening to radio that you guys can't hear. Actually, I'm not listening to a radio. I just have psychic powers. Just kidding. Um, but yeah, this is an amazing weather app. It's the most beautiful display of wind I've ever seen in my life. You got this button here for layers. It's got lots of layers. Um, it's definitely worth paying for and buying the Pro. It's a little bit something, to get used to, but it's just awesome. Some crew's coming to relieve somebody. Do you have any needs? Anyway, when you want to see all the extra info, take your finger from the top and pull down. It's like the notification shade, and you get all these other options. Somebody is at somebody's station. I want to know if they're going to save the post office. The attic's been smoking for 12 hours. Um, I just want to know, is that post office safe? All right. So this Eye in the Sky Aero Commander's going over Hellhole Ridge. Very creative names over here. It's flying west of Hellhole Ridge. It's an aircraft going to Reno. Okay. Is this guy's call sign Burger 31? Okay. All right. Where did the helicopters go? I'll track of them. They may be landed somewhere. I haven't heard helicopter pilot chatter for a bit. Okay, friends, let's go and explore interweb. Photographs. Warning, photographs might be traumatic. Okay, so aerial view of when the McKinney fire started. Gosh, it was so small, wasn't it? That's about it. So never mind. Photograph warning is okay. You can open your eyes. Aircraft turn the tide. This is the thing that, look, you can see the red retardant, I believe, over here. Either that or it's dead trees already, but it looks like retardant. If only you can catch them all when they're that small, but the crazy weather prevented the planes from being effective like they normally are. Ah! I'm sorry, guys. I've been awake since 9:30. Gotten very little food. It's being prepared for me over there, but I'm fading out. So I do believe that what I predict for today, just based on everything, is the storms come in as scheduled. If they do, the wind will blow away the smoke, but the wind will also perhaps bring more dry lightning and start new little fires all over the place. As it moves away, the best case scenario is with the smoke cleared out, the VLATs, the big passenger jet types, come and deal with the fires. They are the most important factor. If there's wet rain, then perfect. Then the new lightning won't do too much, hopefully. But if there's not any wet rain, just the sprinkles of the sky that kind of evaporate before they hit the ground, we can expect a worse roller coaster ride coming. Oh wow, the camera just pivoted. Hang on. Two souls on board, 2 something hours of fuel. There's mapping something. That's all I could make out there. So, oh boy, the camera's pivoting. See how What a nice clear day it is. Oh dear God. So, oh, Lady Pilot's back. So she says en route to somewhere. Now, wet rain, wind blowing away the smoke and dying down, and storms not being as bad as forecast, and some miracle drop in temperature. That would be the best case scenario. But the most likely scenario is this is about as bad as it gets for horrible temperatures, high winds, pyrocumulus clouds forming and collapsing, and you got high potential for firefighter injury, got high potential for entrapment, and we could probably expect more structure loss. They're playing whack-a-mole with spot fires all day. There's spot fires causing new spot fires, and we are looking at a long slog. Unless there's some new storm that brings wetting rain without much in the way of lightning. So long-term forecasts I don't trust very much, and we'll just have to ride out today and see what happens. So that's the assessment. Hold on to your butts. Take this one seriously. It's going to be bad. So Smitty says I wound up with it on my phone by accident. It tracks local storms real well. Which one? Oh, code 3 is lights and sirens. Code 1 is not. Okay, thank you. I get those confused. Okay. So looking back up at the chat, hugs for all. Thank you, Big Daddy, for the dispensary. Glad to see you again. How are you? How are you? I hope everybody is doing better. White Dove says precipitation for Wairika today is only expected to be 15% chance. Yeah. Navy D says, wow, PayPal finally let me donate $50 just now. For the first time it worked for me. You deserve it, Catherine. Thank you, Nevi. Thank you. You know, PayPal's better than Super Chat and stuff because it doesn't take 30% of my stuff. Big Dog says, has any of Wairika been evacuated? My God, yeah. The west side. That's what I woke up to last night at 9:30 going, holy mackerel. See? Now, some of it is back under advisory, but they were tying in dozer lines around Hawkinsville and near the old Beaver Fire scar, which is right up here where the bend in I-5 is. They couldn't even find out how close the fire got to Wairika yesterday. So they can't see through the smoke. So maybe they can see a little bit now. Don't know. But everybody left the west side of Wairika last night for the most part. And people went to, some people ended up in Weed. So, or east side, sure. They're talking, but I can't make it out. It's all broken up. November 3-2 Whiskey Sierra just said, we've just departed Reading, headed to the Kelsey incident. Be advised you have 9 Papa Juliet, working Shackleford, and 9 Tango Whiskey, working Kelsey. .690 Romeo Alpha is over the Pleasant. TAC 05 copies. We'll be switching to River. When you've done that, we'll have you head to McKinney. So they just got cleared to go. This is Air Attack 205. Radio call sign. Okay. So this guy, I recognize his voice year after year, year after year. I think he was in charge even during the Paradise Fire. That was November of 2019. I'd love to know his name. I don't know who he is, but we all remember his voice. So I'm thinking now, guys, that perhaps I should take a break Okay. Oh, Josh, hi. They evacuated the hospital yesterday in Wairika. Right, only there. Thanks for showing up, Josh. You've been invaluable. Oh, like always. And your nickname is still Batman because you come whenever needed and you fly away into the night. Um, the hospital, only the emergency room was open. Got serious. I had a time lapse of like a clear sky of the over Wairika, and then boom, a smog, wildfire smoke moved in. It was pea soup, and it just looked dire. So Christopher the Trail says, "Oh, yesterday that home west side was under mandatory." Yes, everything west of I-5 it looked like was mandatory. White Dove is sending $25 through PayPal. Hope it helps. You're amazing, Catherine. Thank you so much, so much. I'm looking out the window and it's just hazy, muggy, and horrible. I am overheating. We gotta put the oh boy, do we need to put the air conditioning on max. If I lose you guys for a second, it's because I went across the room to put the air conditioning on max. It's a swamp cooler, but same difference. Oh yeah, what's going on? Hi. I'm not used to this. It's not like Oregon's doing any better. It's breaking records in heat waves, and it's even more humid and horrible. So I can't really complain. Um, all my Bay Area people are like, "Oh, it was cold yesterday. I had to have a sweater in the evening. I walked along the beach. It was on a high of 72." Wow. Okay. So they're getting aircraft in a row here, and to avoid the whole exhaustion thing and losing my voice thing, I think I should rest. During the daytime, there's plenty of coverage that the news media does things, and the show doesn't start. The lightning show doesn't start till around 3, according to the forecasters. That's when the lightning and the storms move in. Plus, I need to eat and refuel myself. Hang on a second. They're talking. Kelsey, Incident Command is talking. It's all broken up. Do the amount of resources coming in. Something about a helibase and something. Okay. Big Dog says only 72 degrees. Sign me up. Yeah, I'd like to have been at Pismo Beach yesterday. That would have been cool. I hate to end the stream when there's 108 people watching, but let's see how can I last a little longer. How's breakfast coming? John didn't hear me. How's breakfast coming? Yay. Okay, so I'll hang out with you at least till breakfast is ready. So what I want to do with the stream is I want to be there during crisis, when new information's coming down the pipe, when there's exciting stuff happening, when we need to get the evacuation info like that out to the public. And right now Twitter does that pretty dang well. Oh, thank you for the coffee, sweet. Does it have a lot of cream and sugar?
Yep.
Awesome. You're so awesome. John Stoker just handed me the coffee at his place right now. That's why he's not on mod duty. He's on cook duty. And then there's Facebook, unfortunately, but usually enough people monitor Facebook to put stuff like that on Twitter. Oh, guys, if you weren't on the stream, that was, of course, in the middle of the morning, watch the end of my last stream. It got funny. Even though this drama was happening with the fire, I was looking at the Twitter, and CA Fire Scanner, who is the man, by the way, forwarded a tweet that said a rocket might disintegrate somewhere between San Francisco and the border of Oregon. And somebody was asking me, how do you calm your anxiety about wildfires? And I was explaining herbs and supplements and different ways to take your mind off things. And then I saw the new tweet about a rocket weighing 5 tons that could potentially take out multiple buildings, if not entirely small communities. might land on us. And I was like, never mind, we're all gonna die. Now we have to worry about rockets falling on our heads, you know, just let it go. Don't fear anything. Why worry? But I was like, okay guys, that has just replaced the most weird thing I've ever read on stream. The former #1 slot was the bear urine. The chick's excuse who started, allegedly, the fawn fire last year. You know, even though she's right next to Lake Shasta, she wanted to boil water from a puddle that was tainted with bear urine, so she was gonna, you know, purify that bear urine. That's the lamest excuse to start a fire I've ever heard of. So that was at the #1 slot, and now the Chinese rocket about to fall on our heads in the middle of an active wildfire, that has replaced it to the #1. What do you guys think? I think we should have a poll. Let's do a poll here. Is Chinese rocket danger more bizarre than the bear urine thing? Ask your community. Everybody please participate in this extremely important poll. Now is your one and only chance to make your opinion known. Oh my god, jeez. Weird things happen to me. Okay, this light bulb just exploded in the corner of the room. This house is haunted, John. Your house is haunted. Your light bulb just shattered over there. It just blew out. Okay, jeez. Okay, quick. Everybody should vote. Everybody should vote. Get your vote in. Polls are closing soon. Josh says it's even better that it ended up landing in the Indian Ocean. Really? Well, that's a pinpoint accuracy that everybody has in the space industry. Ah, is that where it ended up? Yeah, Vanessa says eat, drink, and be merry. Absolutely. Just whenever there's wildfire anxiety, just buy yourself a nice dinner. Broke Fish In says they don't know if or where it will come down. Yeah. Smitty says the painfully stupid bear urine thing was tops, but Chinese rocket is strange enough, right? Shaz73 Kathryn on the Siskiyou Facebook group. It's been posted that the post office is gone from 13 minutes ago. No. No. Ah. Dang it. Thanks, Shaz. I was hoping that that post office would make it. This is another reminder that most structures are now being lost to embers that go up under the roof eaves into those little holes into the attic. The best way to protect your property is to make sure you get a fine mesh screen, like at Home Depot or some Ace Hardware or some hardware store. Get a staple gun, get a ladder, and just staple screens under the soffit vents. Klamath post office, I think. Rip. They saved it from the fire approaching, and then only to watch smoke come out from the attic eaves last night. And it was still smoking this morning. Hang on a second. Fire's starting to run up the east. Evacuation warning for where? Beaver or something? Hang on. Fire's starting to run towards a structure. Structure off of East Burn? They said the evacuation's already in place. CAL FIRE copies. Okay, things are getting real, guys. Oh, the poor post office. Okay, guys, what was the link to the page I was supposed to like on Facebook? Because now I can actually do that. Shaz, can you link me to that, please? Thank you. And thanks for being here, Shaz. What time is it in England? Oh, that's sad. Maybe they were talking about Kelsey. Facebook's better than Twitter. Look, guys, you can zoom. Okay. And I don't correspond on this Facebook account, so don't bother trying to find me. I won't friend anybody on this one because people give me private messages and Facebook just throws them up there and they get on the stream on accident. So I don't want to violate anybody's privacy. I'm going to try to get a messenger, instant messaging type software where we can exchange pictures, private messages, and even create little rooms for each other. Like there'd be a room for the Evans fire, a room for the McKinney fire, a room for different fires. And people could post their own personal stories, links, talk to each other, coordinate with each other to help each other. Right now, Discord looks like a good candidate, but Microsoft Teams or something else might be a good candidate. Discord's hard to use. Just frankly, it's got a stupid interface. And it differs wildly between if you're using a Mac, an iPad, an iPhone, desktop, or an Android. But it's free. Okay, so let me look back at chat. I was listening to a high C probe. I totally was not making jokes at your expense earlier. The Beaver Mafia, yes. Okay, the poll is closing, guys. Quickly, get your votes in. Thank you, Shaz. So the group is... Whoops, I got the wrong page thing here. Alright, let's look at this Facebook group. It's always funny when I join a Facebook group about fires. They're like, what are your qualifications? I usually just type something like, have you heard of me? Here's my link. Join the group. Cool. Hey, it didn't even ask me for qualifications. That's good. Okay. New posts. Wow. Wow. GFS model is thankfully showing fairly significant precipitation from thunderstorms that developed from today through Wednesday. The graphic below, this is as of 32 minutes ago, shows accumulated precip estimates during the time period. Okay, fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. I smell bacon. Yes. I wish I could share all the bacon with you guys. Okay. See, this is the sort of thing. See this Facebook group? It's for locals. They're coordinating with each other. A lot of people, though, just do not do Facebook. They don't want it. They don't want to deal with it. And at least, you know, Discord's not going to track you and violate your privacy and throw ads for gambling and drugs in your face, you know. I keep pausing to listen to the chat. So is anybody... Okay, we're going to close the poll. I forgot that it was going. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 1. Okay, I lied. Okay, ending the poll. What are the results? What are the results? So where... Is it going to show the results? There we go! Oh, so the Chinese rocket danger of last night is not more bizarre than the bear urine thing. 26 people voted. Jane Blackbird says, please go to Discord. Okay. Do you know how to use it? I'm looking for a few good mods and or people to train everybody. I'm listening to the radio still. They're just massively coordinating stuff. Like, you go here, you go there. Water tenders go here. What do you need? Send it over there. Yeah. So maybe I could write the people at Discord and be like, can you have an easy mode? You know, that's one that's not for 12-year-old gamers to figure out real quick. I trained John Stoker and C-Pro on Discord for the last 4 to 6 months, and they barely know how to use it. So that's how difficult it is. Chaz says Discord can be really useful. I'm in a few. Yeah, cool. Smitty says it did. The barrier and is still more strange. Okay. Okay. So we'll have more fun pools like that. We have to break the ice and keep our sanity. Oh. Vanessa says I think Discord's the best option. While the UI is intimidating, it's pretty easy to get the hang of. Okay. Cool. Don't tell John Stoker that. Make him feel bad. Just kidding. I'm talking about you. He just gave me the thumbs up. He goes back to cooking. Okay. So, no, you don't know how to use it. You just follow somebody who will use it. Okay. Josh says Discord can be a good tool to share info. Just takes a lot to get used to. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe I can make. I've been looking into software where I can make instructional videos. Um, it shows my mouse like highlighted, and maybe I'll just show people what to do and just make a series of little videos how to mess with Discord. They update themselves like twice a week and change a lot, but hopefully they'll get people started if they just repeat every day what they're supposed to do. But my dad doesn't even know how to call me, you know, and I've been trying to teach him for years. But we'll do what we can. At least it'll reach some people. If there's something easier out there, let me know, and maybe we'll just fundraise and pay for it. A lot of things are not free. Like the other thing that's like Discord, Slack. Slack is not free, so I didn't even really investigate it because the price was steep. Um, so let's look. Do we know the post office is gone? Like, do we know, or did somebody just say that it was gone? Because a lot of times there's false rumors that people just kind of say, and I'm hoping. People keep saying meet me at the post office. They don't say where the post office was. I fear that it is gone, but okay. Wow. 48 people were transported out of the Pacific Crest Trail. Wow. The fire continues to grow. I didn't think it went over that direction. I thought it stayed east of the Sierras, but I don't know that much about it. Okay, so yep, more weather stuff. This is just looking at the Facebook group. Um, forecasts. Decorations, rose, blah, blah. Okay, let's go back and look at the pilots. See if any are currently working in an area. Syad. Is that how you say it? I can't make out what was just said on the radio. It's mostly a series of, we have returned to quarters at 10:15. The night shift has wound their way back to wherever they're supposed to be. And it took them an hour and a half to 2 hours just to get to where they can sleep. So they all check in with dispatch and they say blah, 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 blah. Okay, guys, I'll be here until my breakfast is ready. I got Syad right. Okay, sweet. Keep reminding me. Josh says, look at the threads. They have all the pictures posted in the groups. The mods have done a decent job cutting out the bad info. Good, good. Chaz says there's a video I'm trying to locate on the post office. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, Vanessa says Slack is more for job and workplace communication. From what I understand, we kind of are working. At least the mods are all working together. But I understand it's what our needs are is this. We need to make separate rooms for separate fires because if your community is threatened by the X fire, you don't need to know about Y and Z happening somewhere else in the state. You need to be connected with the other people involved in the X fire. And anybody who wants to post links, instead of giving them mod powers on YouTube and having it go by in chat, the links will stay there permanent. We can pin them permanently, and Discord does that. Also, if anybody has a personal photograph they want to share, says, hey, this is what it looks like out my back window, boom, they can just drag and drop and put the photograph there. And other people can get an idea of what's happening. Anybody that's trustworthy, we can assign anyone in who joins the Discord server, which means like a group room to talk in. We can give people rank, so it can range from peon to god. I would be god. That's my rank, right? The god of the channel. I control everything, whether or not it exists. The mods will be like, the archangels, right? And then you got your mortals, at the bottom. So you can assign anybody like who comes in and you can't verify who they are. They won't be allowed to say anything. They'll just be allowed to observe and see the info because we haven't vetted them yet. Anybody who's trustworthy will get a higher rank, to angel or archangel or whatever. So, like the random hang on, that was listening to Pilot. He says we still have no visibility out here, so that's disappointing. He's trying to tell aircraft whether or not they can approach areas and whether not to bother. So anyway, the more trustworthy people are, the more powers they get to mute people, ban people. Some of the people that join will be bots, and the cool thing is that you can just right-click them and ban them. And the default setting for new people would be they can't talk. They can't type anything. And if I get an email saying, hey, I'm so-and-so on Discord, give me some powers, I'll be like, oh, okay. So Lori Winter says, hello, Kathryn and mods. Thank you for all your info. Thanks for being here. So the coolest thing is that, say somebody, we're kind of familiar with them, but we can't verify if they're a local or something. We can give them permission to talk, but not post pictures or links, because those are the things that can be bad for people. Like, they can be evil, for example. Hang on, I just got a notification from a Twitter on Klamath. I think this is an evacuation thing. Let's post it. And if people act out of line, you can just strip powers. Like, now you can talk, you can type words, but you can't post links because you just posted something bad, something naughty, or something questionable, or you violated copyright, or you stole something, or gave us bad info. So, the more trustworthy people are, the more powers we give them. That's good. Then I can go to sleep and stuff and know that everybody can still be in the Discord, even if stream's offline. They can still be posting maps, info, up-to-date stuff, even if I'm asleep. None of the information will stop flowing. So it looks like Klamath National Forest just tweeted, Kelsey Creek fire, new fire on the southwest end of the McKinney fire. Following areas are under mandatory evacuation. All areas south of Forest Road 44N45. All areas west of Wrights Lake Road. All areas north of Forest Road 44N45. South of Forest Road 46N64. All areas east of Forest Road 45N19. Forest Road 44N04. All areas west of Scott River Road. And all areas south of Scott River Road and Scott Bar Mountain Lookout Road. All areas east of Canyon Creek Road. All areas west of Belgian Lane Forest Route 43 November 21. Just look at Stonehaven. Look at Stonehaven. This. Let's hit the refresh button just to make sure we're good. I smell food. Oh my god, I've been starving. I think the last time I ate was 4:30 in the morning. I'm listening to crackly pilot talk. Can't make out anything. Let's look at planes. Let's see if they. This plane, this eye in the sky, says we are investigating a smoke. Okay, that wasn't the plane talking. It's the one that's going towards the Kelsey. The one that's already over the McKinney, he said, is in the way. They're trying not to collide with each other. They're trying to pick their altitudes. So it's just eyes in the sky right now. And I'm looking at the weather, zooming out. The Pacific has a lot of circular storms out right now. I don't see moisture like anywhere except northwest of Honolulu, a little bit off the Alaska coast. But it'll happen. As far as the ocean's considered, there's small amounts of moisture. Sacramento, San Jose, a little bit starting to flow north. It's a little bit off the coast of Eureka, excuse me. A little bit of moisture forming in the Coast Range north of Fort Bragg, headed towards Redding and this fire area. So it's getting. Okay, aircraft are asking, and I'm saying appreciate any info you've got for us. I don't know who they're asking. They said later we'll be flying over to McKinney. So I don't know. I don't know if they have infrared, if they can see through smoke, or if they're just kind of sweeping back and forth. I hope they have infrared. Okay, back to the chat. And sorry, I have to ignore chat a lot because I only have one monitor. So I'm going back up. Vanessa says you can have a separate title for fire professionals. Absolutely, yes. Badges or something. People who are real firefighters and have training, and people who are real meteorologists, and people who are real pilots and stuff should have a little badge, and we can give them nicknames. So, Cogito would definitely be Iceman. Josh could be Batman for real now. So, White Dev says I was a mod for Holt Haney last year. I'm just a mere mortal here, lol. Thank you to all the mods. Well, do you want to be a mod? I think I remember you. And Holt's, he's the man. I call him the boy wonder. He takes over from what I do, at least. Like if I can't go live, he's like, here's the forecast. He's always happy. Let's see here. We're always looking for a few good men. White Dev says I feel so bad for our local rafting companies and the river rats. The Klamath River trips are canceled again. I know. If COVID wasn't bad enough, then you have the fires of 2020. Then you had the fires of 2021, which were worse. Sometimes they were worse depending on where you were. And now 2022, yay, we can actually, we've lost 3 years of business. We can come back, right? Hey, Rebecca. I met Rebecca Sage in Tahoe. She's wonderful. Thank you for your support, and thanks for being here. Smitty says, Shaz, also, if you know little mountain towns, chances are good. Not good at post office. Was in another building, i.e. another door at the community center. I thought it was a bar and post office, but I'm getting my communities mixed up. Big Dog says, I will always be your one and only Big Dog. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, C Prove and Rebecca and I hung out at the Blue Dog in Tahoe. Oh. Broken Fish says that's a good idea. 20 years of wildfire experience here. Heck yeah. And you'll definitely be one of the archangels. Jane Blackford says I volunteer to be a peon. Heck yeah. There we go. Having affectionate insult names is actually something that people like. Like Lady Gaga called all of her followers her little monsters. I'd be like, I quit. I hate you, lady. But no, they loved it. Urban, hey, how are you? Things are getting bad over here in New England and Connecticut. We're in a severe drought, little no rain today. We have a stiff wind with high fire danger. Oh, I hope not. Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and all those, they can have crazy wildfires too. It's more like once in a blue moon, but when they happen, they happen. So praying for you too over there, Urban. My friend in Kentucky is talking to me about those flash floods. Holy mackerel. But that's what's happening. We're in the heat dome. So if people aren't familiar with what heat domes do, all the hot air gets trapped in a round area. That's why they call it like a dome, like say Northwest California, like the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, California. And then right next to it, all the coldness and the moisture will get trapped in a bubble too. So back-to-back storms will dump torrential rain into one little area. So one area has the extreme heat, and one little area next to it has all the extreme flooding. Because normally the storms would spread out across the landscape, but they bounce off the heat dome, which is high pressure. And so their low pressure just lets go of all the rain in one spot. So, oh no, oh no, listening. The two pilots are talking to each other. The one that's going to the north is saying, look, we can't see anything. We're getting out of your TFR, your little space. We're headed home to Medford. The task force is heading down from the north. They're going to come and investigate the new fire start in the north. Yeah, so we officially do have a new fire start somewhere. Wow. Okay, a ground crew is passing along that information. Somebody's going to head away from Happy Camp and help out a situation somewhere near the Kelsey. Oh, thank you.
Which side do you want to?
Sounds good.
Which side?
Right here's good, thank you. I'm talking to John. There's a weather report for pilots being read. Sorry, what, John? Okay, thank you. He's bringing me a little tray table. Listening to the radio. Okay, Urban, I will check that out for a second. Right now I'm listening to the pilot chatter. Big Dog says, are you having bacon and eggs or French toast? I am. I am. That's because John Stoker's awesome. I'm trying to track down ownership information for something. There's a lot of fast-paced radio chatter. The air commander guy is sounding depressed. He goes, we'll go over the McKinney and we'll tell you if we can see anything. Ground people are talking to him. Now how long it takes to drive from Grass Lake, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you guys want to listen to the chatter, I'll link it. All right, second friends. You can definitely listen to me and them at the same time if you wish. Now, this computer is breaking down. Like, the whole 8 gigs of RAM here have been kind of saturated and it needs a restart. I'm just about to get my food and I will stay with you as I'm eating and such, but then I'm going to take a dang nap. I don't know if I'll be back on during the daylight hours. I like to go film if I'm feeling good enough after the map. Now, since they're not saying anything on the stream, I could tell you a story about the animals outside this morning. The radio is non-stop right now. Oh my God, we can see something. Look at Shasta. There's enough smoke clearance to see Shasta. Look at the storm coming. Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh my God, I was just given a 4-star breakfast by John Stoker, who is the man. I'm going to give you a good tip.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, real authentic maple syrup. Oh my God. Biggest slices of bacon. Best breakfast anybody could hope for. He's a good cook. Me, I'm a terrible one. I can burn water. Okay. So, when smoke clears, fire activity will get worse because the smoke is like a little blanket. It's like putting the lid on a grease fire. Like, simmers it down a bit. You lift it off, and maybe aircraft can work it, but there's got to be a sweet spot. You can't have a raging storm. Unfortunately, a raging storm might be the thing that clears the air, so it's only 10:30 in the morning. Everything will intensify, probably rapidly. Boy, I wish I could share all this food with you guys. Hopefully John knows not to ever include onions. Oh, he's trained well. No, he's sensitive and good. He's good. Talking. Okay, the pilot's talking again. He's mostly just talking about his altitude. Everybody who's donated even $1, thank you. Really hurting for it right now. The camera equipment I bought's been insane. Gas has been insane. Being away from home for a month has been insane. the technical problems where I had to just drop $600 on some new drives and such has been insane. So, and I found out I need to buy a gaming laptop. Crunchy bacon, sorry guys. It's big and thick and crunchy and perfect. Broken Fish says it's an inversion layer. Yeah. What is that exactly? Yeah, Lisa was asking questions. Sorry, I missed them. I only have one screen right now. Oh yeah, they won't do rafting because there's massive damage along Highway 96. All the power lines pretty much went down. The ones that didn't go down burned. Many structures burned. They've had compromised bridges and buildings and rock falls and trees all over the place down. Some trees went down over a road and trapped two fire engines that had air brake problems. Both of them did. So it sounded like an Apple lol. Sorry, guys. If I could wait until Black Friday, I'll be getting great deals on gaming laptops. That's a great idea, Vanessa. Gaming laptops, the only thing more intense than gaming is video production. So if a gaming laptop, they're about the best you can get. That'd be good. I will be having a big fundraiser type sale of my old computer gear that I have lying around. If I have like 7 or 8 really old laptops worth $50 each, that gives me a head start. John Big Dog says John may need to open his own bed and breakfast joint with Kathryn as the door greeter. Yeah, that'd be good. Okay. So Vanessa says that's what I did a few years ago. Mine was something like $800 off MSRP. Woo. Let's look at passing again. Now everything's getting slower. The RAM is like 99% usage. I looked at the value of this laptop, hoping it would be worth $300 or something, but it's not. Answers my question on whether or not to upgrade the RAM. Everything on the radio is unreadable and breaking up. I'm going to mute myself for a second, take another bite of food. Okay, more pilots are talking about pilot things, such as what altitude are you so we don't collide? So this Broadcastify has ground chatter, airplane chatter, and regular dispatch from the town of Waimika. It's a little bit of a mess. Yeah, it's going a million miles an hour, the chatter now. Okay. Chaz says John's suddenly snacking on tomatoes in the greenhouse. Yeah. John Colgrove says you're killing me. I haven't eaten in 2 days. Are you cleansing? Broke Fishin says an inversion layer traps air pollution, such as smog, close to the ground. An inversion can also suppress convection, acting as a cap. So it's like a lid on the fire, yeah. If the cap is broken for any of several reasons, convection of any moisture present can then erupt into violent thunderstorms. Oh dear. Temperature inversion can notoriously result in freezing rain in cold climates. You're knowledgeable. You're hired and promoted. Oh, alright. Going back up to chat. I'm sorry, I definitely won't talk about really good food then, such as pies and milkshakes with whipped cream and banana and chocolate and dashed peanut butter in there and little chocolate sprinkles on top and, things like steak, sizzling, medium rare steak, ribeye, sweet potato fries next to it. I'll definitely not mention that stuff. Okay. I know it's suffering though. Like whenever I have one of the exams at the doctor, they're like, "Oh, you gotta cleanse now." No, I have to eat. Like I can't. Okay, just more violet crackle. Um, it's more like constant noise in my ear than anything usable that I can relate to, you guys. Now, I really hope that aircraft can come out and play at least some point. Oh, it's Air Attack's talking again. Maybe he'll say something. He just flew over the Kelsey. Oh, Papa Juliet is on their last drop, so I guess the helicopters went and dropped something. Hopefully, he says, I would like them to load and return if they can come back. Additionally, Strike Team 92 something is coming en route to your incident. Cool. So, helicopters are like off radar, but maybe they're just so low, so tucked behind ravines that we're not getting transponder info or something. I don't know what it's like. It might show up in a second. Okay, friends. All this last call. Does anybody want to know anything about the incident? It's about time for me to take a nap. I've been awake since 9:30 p.m. Big Dog says chocolate sprinkles. Who's she kidding anyway? Oh, you have something against it? Okay. Alrighty. Oh, Air Attack's talking again. Harley Rider Hate says Kelsey and Shackelford fires too seems to be growing in Siskiyou counties, and those are fresh ones. Yeah. This lightning. Louis Stone says if you click on the star in the aircraft picture, you can bookmark it. Mine are all full. I gotta upgrade to the gold edition. But you know what? I found an app called Plane Finder for Android. It's not 100% compatible with Android 12, but it lets me know when aircraft take off based on their tail number. So it goes boing, and I could bookmark as many as I want without throwing more money at the stupid Flight Radar. They should give me a gift sub, I swear to God, for public service, but it is what it is. I think it's just crummy that you can't just bookmark as many aircraft as you want. Or maybe do all the emergency aircraft for free. That would be good. Or firefighting aircraft. Brokefish in says, okay, they have air resources looking at the path of the lightning last night. Yeah. Hey, RJ, how are you? Still in Smartsville? I'll be coming towards Yuba County soon. Probably in the next few days, maybe. RJ says, just got back from watering my yard. Still moderate temperatures here at Smartsville. Yeah. It's oppressive in El Dorado County. And muggy and horrible. Let's look at the cams. Okay. Last call for questions before my nap time. Anybody? I may not be back on today. Um, somebody just gave me a message on my phone. Who who is messaging me? Hang on. Is this important? Oh my god, my phone just blew up. I hate the Pixel. I'll have like no messages and then 24 will get delivered. What is that about, Pixel? Um, more pilot chatter that's... Wow. Listening to more pilot stuff. Yeah, pilot reports. We can now actually see Mount Shasta 3-mile visibility. They're ready to go if they get an opportunity. But getting an opportunity means because a storm came. It'd be... Sorry. I was holding a coffee cup. I couldn't hit the mute. Okay. It's not coming. And there's massive communication problems even with the aircraft right now. Okay. Here's a time lapse of the Fort Jones. Look at the dead calm. Those water drops on the camera? Was that lightning? No. Okay. It's moved. I don't think that's lightning, but didn't it look like it? It's lightning. Yeah. Wow. Okay, many ground crews are requesting aircraft to look around them, and they're basically like, we'll do our best, but don't look, don't get your hopes up. They're going to Goddard to look around the perimeter as well, and they're going to go look over to McKinney and everything. Guys, I think that was lightning. Now, if we looked at the weather app, it would confirm whether or not lightning hit. Big Dog says, I see bad weather moving you on the cams. Yeah, hold on to your butts, buckle up, and put your seats and tray tables back in the upright position. Oh, boy. Vanessa said, I would definitely say that's lightning. Yeah. Big Dog says, lightning this early in the day is very unsettling. Yeah. Big Dog says, stay safe, everybody. Keep your head on swivel. Thank you, Big Dog, for being here and your kind donation. Harley Ryder says the pleasant fire might become somewhat of a problem, too. Deep in the mountains, get some windy, too, and waves. Yeah. We have got to pray for heavy rain with these thunderstorms. Yeah. Broken Fish says, I'm only a silver member and have to be higher membership to do more tracking. Yeah, me too. I actually fundraised and somebody gave me the money for the gold, but I didn't hit the button yet. Ah. I was kind of concerned about the credit card bill with the whole gas prices here. Smitty says, let's just hope it comes out. Some rain to balance it out. We could use a break. Let's shake some feathers at the sky and do some rain dances. But I don't like the look out the window of just the Sierras right now either. Like while we're looking over at the Shasta area, thunderstorms and monsoonal stuff is scheduled for Tahoe, and it feels weird right now. Cheryl says, I'm sure Kentucky would send it if they could. Yeah. The weather bug spark is good. It works well. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here because it's time to eat and just plop down for a nap. I'm still here to film the Caldor aftermath, and I have to learn how to use my camera. I have a steady cam thing that I don't know how to use either, and that's why I'm here. So I have taken yet another detour away from my filming days, and every day of filming that I lose just means I have to stay here longer and be further away from my computer that will help me track wildfires for real. This was supposed to be a 2-week trip, and boy, did that change. So the fastest way that I can really do good fire streaming again is get home. And the faster I get home, the better. The faster I get home means wrap up my filming here and come back to interview everybody later. Like, just film the aftermath best I can. We already got the aerial views, thanks to C-Pro. John went driving around with me. Sister Goldenhair made sure we were in the parade. Very, very grateful. You guys donating have kept me running here. And I am grateful for every even $5 donation. That's a long way towards another gallon of gas. And I've already driven a couple thousand miles. Cheryl Simpson says, is there a water bladder bag big enough to transport from Kentucky to California? Yeah. Dude, that's an idea. It just has to roll, right? Just roll it. And we'll navigate it to the Great Plains and stuff where there's like no buildings. I don't know what we're going to do about the Rocky Mountains though. That's a lot of momentum we'd have to build up. But anyway. Alright, guys, hold on to your butts. Evacuate that region. I wouldn't be anywhere near that region right now. And Twitter, Facebook has got you covered, and the regular media, since this has now drawn a lot of attention. I don't feel I have to cover this all day. Exhausting myself to do so is just not a good plan. I am really sore, really exhausted, and possibly even sick with just sinus infection because of all the smoke. When I was in Tahoe, I actually went swimming there because I'm stupid. It's ice water. But I wanted to do it to say I've done it. And I went and ducked my head underwater, just playfully diving for a second. And, oh God, the ice water went into my ears. It was like ice picks in my ears. And they throbbed in pain. And then my front, like, eyebrows and cheeks hurt massively, all the way down to my teeth. And that gives me a good idea that I may be getting a sinus infection. So I'm going to go take care of myself. Thank you, Alan, and everybody being here to help people with their questions. You guys are my rock stars. Whenever I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll assess the situation. I think it's more important to be around in the middle of the night when things might change and people have, all the daytime people went to sleep, all the normies. And then we might actually help people, be in a position to be helpful rather than just observant. Because right now I'm just observing. the train wreck, But the purpose of the stream is to be there when the media goes home and CAL FIRE turns off for the night. There are all information lines and stuff, to give people the idea of what to expect, give people their updates. I think we accomplished that goal today, and I really, really appreciate everybody being here. Please slam the like button on the way out so that the channel trends. And if you want to know fire information whenever there's a crisis, that's when we try to go live. Hit the subscribe button, and there's like a little bell. Make sure it's ringing, otherwise you won't be notified all the time. And I am unfortunately mortal. I must take care of my corporeal needs. Harley Ryder says, be safe, Kathy, and see you on the next one. Smile and be of good cheer. Thank you, guys. Thank you for patting me on the head, too, and motivating me, because knowing I'm helping people keeps me going. It's a grim job. So thank you, mods. Thank you, donators. Thank you, people that hit the like button. And if you want to help the most, take the stream channel by clicking on my icon that says K. That'll be the general channel page, and just put it on your own Facebook, your own Twitter, text it to people who don't do that stuff, who you think might need help and benefit from the channel. I think knowing things, best case, middle ground, worst scenario, and just being informed is very stress relieving. Panic and anger and that sort of stuff comes from being in the dark. So, hope I've helped in that way. Thank you, guys, and we will see you next time. I will try to check in more frequently now that I've figured this out. Maybe I can do some more frequent check-ins. If there is a major crisis, I will get myself to somewhere with great internet, and if that happens to be McDonald's or whatever, and just go there. Thank you, everybody who's volunteered their own homes for me to stream out of, but I would be hesitant to accept that because streams can sometimes go all night, and that's hard, Now, get your bug out bag ready. Get out your map, make your evacuation plans, your ABC evacuation routes, which is 3 paved roads in 3 different directions that move fast. And your D, shelter in place plan. Your ponds, your culverts, your bridges, not your home. Golf courses, big box store parking lots, baseball diamonds, recently plowed fields, construction sites, anywhere that doesn't burn. Remember, stay there. If you're not sure, if there's a traffic jam and you're not sure where the fire is, stay in a place of safety instead of running around in the dark in flames. And once you've done all you can do, and that's when you can relax. Big Dog says get Starlink. I heard there's a waiting list for that. The best thing I can do right now is I checked out T-Mobile and get the $95 a month plan, and that way my traffic is always priority. So like, we got cut off during the 4th of July parade. If I had hit the Super Deluxe plan, even though there was thousands of other people at the parade, my data would have been prioritized to not fail because of the big bucks I was paying. So Starlink is a big goal, but the next immediate thing I can do is get like the T-Mobile $95 a month plan. But we'll work on that fundraiser later. I'll get the Patreon going, see if we can get a Discord going, see if I can get a website going, and improve the stream, and then get a good laptop so that I can take the show on the road and not have these problems. So everybody who's donated, we're on the road towards that goal, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the stuff that we've been filming here. It's pretty exciting, and I will deliver. You guys help me get a good camera, and I will deliver. Good night, everybody, and good luck, and we'll see you next time. If you don't know about my Twitter, it's @KWildfires. I tweet when I can't stream. Excuse me. You're a public service superstar. Thanks, Rebecca Sage. You're a star for helping me. I cannot do it without you guys. I really, really am super grateful. And yes, the thank you stream is coming. I'm so sorry I've not been able to do it. I grabbed the wrong notebook, And my list of donators and such is at home on my desk. So it'll be back when I'm back in Oregon. And then we'll have some relaxing fun too. Meanwhile, I gotta wrap up this brutal trip and get myself home. Good night, guys. Good luck and be safe.